I told you I wasn't going to do it. But you're waiting for it, aren't you? All right, here I go. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, the shampoo that glorifies your hair. I know. It's going to become a thing. I'm early. Halo shampoo sponsored, I don't know. The big radio comedians had various sponsors. Chase and Sanborn sponsored Charlie McCarthy for a while. Jello was the sponsor for Jack Benny for a while. And I don't remember who Halo shampoo was the sponsor for, but that was their little jingle. And I don't even know if they make Halo shampoo anymore. Probably not. I'm early. Let me put my spectacles on because otherwise I don't know what's being said. Greetings to one and all. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, we're having a live sale tonight. This is the pre-live chit chat. And it's, it's 10 of 8. So the live sale doesn't actually start. We don't even see Patrick in the green room yet. So, Breck shampoo. You know what I remember, DM? Do you remember Prel? That green? And, this is in the early 80s. I remember if you bought, Prel came in a tube. It could come in a tube like toothpaste. You remember that? And if you bought a 2-pack, you would get a free, who remembers this? Prel stripped your hair. You would get a free plastic thing that you would slide over one end of the tube, not the business end, but the flat end, and it had a hook on it, and you could hang it from your shower curtain. Why do I remember that dumb thing? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be such a mess. Remember that? Oh, dippity-doo. That was pink, or it could come in pink. And I remember that. We had an old jar of that in the back of the bathroom closet, probably left over from the 60s. You remember that, Alicia, that little plastic thing? Who else remembers? Jean remembers it. You people are old. I was a little kid. You remember that? Body on tap. No, but have you had your sprinkle today? Patrick is in the green room. I'm going to leave him there for a minute. Patrick, you hear me? Let me work the crowd a little bit. And then we're going to bring you in. So Zoe Small says that Zoe, you used Halo shampoo. So they don't still make it, do they? You're not late, Trusty. And I told you I was going to go on early and not to panic. I told you that. Oh, yes. Gee, your hair smells terrific. What was the one? And they told 2 friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. You remember that? See, isn't it just, it's ridiculous. I've been broadcasting for what? Does it tell me? Where does it tell me how long I've been on this thing? Like 60 seconds? And we're going down like shampoo memory lane. Oh, 4 minutes. Oh, yeah, I don't think they stopped in the 70s making Halo. I like the little theme song. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm not going to sing it again. Patrick is here. Patrick, go wash your face, comb your hair. We'll bring you in a minute. He's here. We are going, Patrick. I am bringing Patrick in. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming back again. 2 nights in a row. Woo! So tonight is all ephemera. And I got boxes and boxes and boxes of it. But Patrick and I are only going to be selling, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, maybe 15 lots each. We'll go for a couple of hours and we'll see. Oh, you want me to sing it? Oh, double mint gum. Double your pleasure, double your fun with gum. Yep. But what is ephemera, Scott? Well, Trusty, you know what ephemera is. It was meant to be thrown away. Ephemera was not supposed to hang around, like greetings cards and old magazines and maps and bits and bobs, little bits of paper. I don't know what the actual definition of ephemera is. Isn't it that it's here today, gone tomorrow? I mean, I'm here today, but I'll be gone tomorrow, so maybe I'm ephemera as well. I don't know. Ephemera is ephemeral. Yes. 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 That was that goose that would say that. Wasn't it a goose? Here I go again. It was a goose that would walk around and all she said was, yes. All right. We're just going to let everybody come on in. Come on in. Pull yourself up a chair. Sit yourself down. Mm-hmm. I'm looking in 2 places. If you see me looking down, that's that screen. I really should be looking up here. You know, I'm having my eyes checked on Saturday. So maybe I can get my eyeballs to where I can actually see what I'm supposed to be seeing. Things that exist or used for a short period of time. Yeah, ephemeral, here today, gone tomorrow. Things that just sort of disappear. Now, it wouldn't be fair for me to show you in advance what I'm going to sell because I've got Patrick hiding in the green room. So I'm not going to show you anything. You have 2 Lime streams going right now and you can't choose. Oh, go to the other one. It'll be more entertaining than this one, probably. Patrick and I are going to try our best not to talk too much. We're both talkers. And we got to get through a lot of things tonight. So we both we want to tell you about our things, but also keep the live sale moving and keep it interesting. Oh, herbal essence. Mm-hmm. I remember that. Patrick, are you ready? It's early. You still have 3 minutes in hair and makeup. You let me know in the chat if you are ready to be brought into the fold, and we will go get you. So they don't have to look at me. And ready, Freddie. All right, here we go. Get ready. Let me go get you. Here we go. Wait a minute, where is he? Oh, I need to add you. All right, now I need to invite you.
No, I'm there. I think I'm there.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you there?
I think I'm here. I'm somewhere.
I think you're there. Let me make us big.
Nope.
Done. No what?
Ready for my close-up.
Well, okay. Not Norma Zimmer. Wait a minute. Not Norma Desmond.
First part right. There you go.
I got the Norma part right.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I need to go find some Halo shampoo. My hair's a little mussed.
Norma Zimmer was the champagne lady.
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, yes, you don't?
Norma Zimmer? The champagne, what champagne lady?
Patrick, You were not babysat by your grandparents in the 1970s, were you?
Well, no.
Well, that explains it.
The short answer to that's no.
Okay. Anybody who was babysat by their grandparents in the 1970s was forced, while their parents were out dancing to the sounds of Sonny and Cher, as children, we were forced to sit on the floor and watch back-to-back episodes of Lawrence Welk and Hee Haw.
Okay, Hee Haw, I remember. Lawrence Welk, not as much. Yeah, that may be your East Coast versus my Midwest raisings. Hee Haw was far closer to home for us. I just was chatting with somebody today, and they were comparing their 70s childhood home to my 70s childhood home, and I feel I missed something along the way, because my childhood home was blonde parquet floors, fake dark wood paneling, which the paneling was just like the vinyl paper printed with a wood grain attached to like particle board. And he's talking about white shag carpeting and snakeskin printed foil wallpaper and a purple Chesterfield sofa. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have any of that. Were you raised by Siegfried and Roy? Because that is not the childhood I had.
Well, I like to say that I was not a product of the 70s, but I survived the 70s. I think I may be a few years older than you. You might be a product of the 70s. You might not want to admit that, so we'll just keep going.
No, I always admit it. I was born in 1970. So I am absolutely a product of the 70s. And I have no interest in returning to that era at all. So I tend not to carry a lot of it. Not a lot of those childhood memories that I'm trying to recreate. That nostalgia kind of skips over me. So,
well, Patrick, everybody knows who this is. Many of them know who you are, but you are a guest on my channel this evening. And I don't like to say my channel, I guess our channel. It's a big family here. So why don't you go ahead, and if folks are not sure who you are, we've got close to 200 folks here tonight. And some of them may not know who the Trusty Huckster is. Tell us who, what, where, when, why.
Well, I absolutely appreciate you having me on your and your extended family's channel. So my name is Patrick, Trusty Huckster Mercantile. I started my channel a few years ago, and I actually started by, I did all my research by watching Scott's channel. So it's always this great pleasure to, actually be with one of my mentors, one of the masters, being included in his channel. So I am a part-time reseller, though. I do have a full-time gig. I'm in sales. I am a full-time huckster. So this is something that I do kind of on the side. And I love doing ephemera sales for a couple of reasons. One, it's just something I've always kind of liked. I like that vintage advertising, that kind of industrial appeal. Framing advertising can look fantastic. This ephemera collecting, and I have a couple of collections of ephemera myself. But it also became a functional piece because I do this as a side hustle. Ephemera is really easy to ship. And when I first started selling, I was selling glass, and I was selling porcelain, and I was selling stuff that I really love. And I do still love that. And I occasionally will still sell it. But I cut my teeth shipping champagne flutes. What the heck? That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. And so, putting so much time and effort and packaging materials to send all this. If paper in an envelope, hey, I missed that memo. That makes things a lot easier, and it's a lot of fun to look for. You've collected a pretty nice bundle that you're offering tonight. I will spend hours just digging through old drawers and boxes and basements of estate sales, while everyone else is going crazy trying to look through the labels of all the clothing and trying to Google all of the styles of furniture. I'm just sitting there going through, old pictures and old magazines and just having a great old time.
Isn't it fun digging through your drawers?
I love digging through my own drawers, letting other people dig through my drawers. I enjoy it both ways. So absolutely. So
well, thank you for the compliment. I don't feel worthy of it, but I appreciate that. And we've collaborated before several times on this, that, and the third. And so what we would like to do, both of us, is welcome everyone. Enjoy yourselves in the chat, but please be cognizant that this is a sale, and it is helpful, sort of like during the bidding, if we can just sort of concentrate on that. But I want you to enjoy yourselves here tonight. You don't have to buy anything. You are going to see some things. Now, Patrick doesn't know what I'm selling, and he didn't tell me what he's selling. So we're going to enjoy seeing what each of us have brought to the table tonight. And I guess we will say this. I will be shipping from the lovely South Jersey, Philadelphia, Delaware Valley area. And whatever you purchase tonight does not include the shipping, but I use Pirate Ship to ship as cheaply as possible. And Patrick, you are shipping from?
I'm shipping from Chicago. So I will be, again, because of the ephemera, some of it may be able to go by stamped mail if you're willing to work with me on that. It's not trackable, but it's less expensive. So it depends on what you're buying. But it's going to be coming from Chicago. And I will just, again, note that this is a side hustle for me. I will do my best to invoice within the next couple of nights, but it's not something I will not be turning the invoices around super quickly. I usually do my sales on Thursdays and try and invoice by Sunday. I will try and do faster this time because I know Scott has set very high expectations for his customers. So I will try and make sure that you are not disappointed.
Oh, please listen, it's a big family here and we have a good time. So I would like to also thank in advance any of the moderators that are here. And once again, we never purposely ignore anyone. It is difficult to see the messages, but I know you're here. I know that we've got Purple Wrench folk here who are working as moderators. Patrick, you and I will call each other's starts and stops. Will we do
that work? You taught me on that, and that is a beautiful way of doing it.
Do that. And I was told last night that it's helpful if I put in the start and the price, and I will do that because I normally don't. Okay. But some folks really want that, so I'm going to actually default. Patrick, we're going to make you large. I guess everything that I have is an offer up. I'm going to give you what I'm looking for an opening bid. And we just let it roll from there. We talk about it, we count it down, and we sell it to the highest person.
Okay, I did not prep my little tag, so I'm typing one in really quickly for the first item I'm going to sell. So we have that start.
Well, I'm going to enlarge you, and Patrick, the floor is yours.
All right, get my comment up there. So I have most of what I'll be doing is going to be offer ups, and I might throw in a couple quick to claim items because I do have some items that I have multiples of. So it's silly to do an offer up on something I've got multiples. So I'll just set the price, and then that way a lot of people are concerned about the lag. You know, since I've got multiples, hopefully multiple people will be able to get in there and still be able to claim something that they are interested in. So my first item is a set of vintage Valentines. So we are going to, there are 10 of these, and we are going to start the bidding at $10. So I've got to put that in there. You can go ahead and start. They are a mix of mechanicals. So we've got a mechanical Valentine here, which as being mechanical means that there's something that's movable on here. So she's doing her little hearts jig with her arms going behind her back. Which hand will you take, my Valentine? This one has been, most of these have been sent to someone. So this was to Emma from Esta. I don't know that name. Esta. Okay. So that's one. And this is for the entire lot. So $10 to start. Then we've got a die cut with a little calendar flap on here that I thought was mechanical because there's a little opening on the back, but it doesn't seem like anything else moves. It's just the tag for the calendar goes into it. And there is a sign in these inside that this is from Ruby M. So that is number 2. Again, these are sold as a lot. Honeybee, My Valentine, is another openable die cut card. This one actually flaps open and you won't get stung. Another die cut in a card form. Hello, Granddaughter. And we got the traditional greeting card. Love, Grandma and Grandpa. We've got a little die cut. Just a little, this was probably one that would be just, one of those school ones that went into the fold, into a little envelope. I'm whirly over you. Little from Jeffrey J. sent that card. We've got for my teacher, Valentine. Little card opens with a little die cut inset as well. So this would pop out and you could actually hold it upright. You know, be like a little table topper. And this one's kind of cool. It's a lollipop topper. So you actually, puppy love is dandy. We're happy all the time. And so I send this candy to you, my Valentine. And there's it's new old stock. There's little little cuts made into it that you would slide a lollipop into there, and you would give this with a little candy lollipop along with your Valentine. Oh, come on. Another die cut heart that opens up. I'm liking you better the longer I wait. Come along, don't be bashful. You got a big date. And we got the little illustration with the puppy inside. Another card. This is kind of a die cut that I'm not 100% sure why this kind of moves, kind of like a mechanical, but I guess it's just to show the balloons go up, but it's more of a card that would be flat, waiting to be your Valentine. You're the nicest Valentine I ever knew. My heart was meant for only you. Oodles of love from Grandmere. I'm not sure what that says. Maybe it says grandma, but that doesn't look like ma. And the 10th one in the collection is another openable card. It's got an older style illustration to it, a little bit thinner weight paper with the illustration. Getting along without a heart, they say, is hard to do, but I would gladly give mine up if it were claimed by you. So that is a set of 10. I didn't see any bids come in for that, so I'm assuming there is no interest in it. So I don't really think there's a need to count it down unless you think I should.
Well, now listen here, folks. Now, before we bring my face in, all right, there's a bid. Okay, now look, you bid like you mean it, because we are going to move through these items tonight. $10 for 10 Valentines, and they are in great shape and they look wonderful. So, Patrick, you do have a bid. I see Debbie.
Okay, Phillips. I do see the bid event from Debbie Phillips for $10. So thank you so much. So we will start that with Debbie. And I will go ahead and do the countdown. So if anyone wants to mark that up for Debbie, otherwise she's getting a great deal at $1 a piece. Oh, Timeless Tommy's coming in at 12. And again, this is to get all 10. So it's not choice or anything like that. You're getting all 10.
Getting all of them. And Patrick, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Just a reminder as we're getting started, make sure you give me the finger countdown so I can. I'm gonna enter the stop. That will account for the lag. Okay.
Excellent. All right, so again, we've got all of these. Timeless Tommy currently has it at 12. We will go ahead and start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And we'll see how much of the lag we've got. This one, right. The lollipop one's probably my favorite one.
That is so cute. And I have just put that in and I'm hitting refresh. I am seeing on my screen that Timeless Tommy has the high bid at 12.
And that is what I am seeing as well. Thank you so much, Timeless Tommy, for picking up the Valentines.
Very good. Let's see here. Now, what am I supposed to do to get us back again?
I've never done it on the phone, so if you run into a problem, I'm not going to know how to help you. I always do it on my computer.
Well, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, so very good. Thank you, Timeless Tommy, and for everyone who placed their bids. We're gonna get rid of that comment, and I think I
forgot I have my ginger snaps today.
You do, and I'm sitting here with nothing but a Diet Coke, and I think I've got one of those Belvita cracker things over there my mother is always giving me. Okay, it's my turn. Here we go, starting, and I did not put this in, so I'll do this right now. START, start at 9. Forgive me for not putting in the $sign. We're starting at $9, and this is a postcard folder. So this will open up, and all the postcards will fall out like an accordion, and look at it. It is the homes of the movie stars. And we're thinking about California during this terrible weather. And we hope everyone is faring well. This is going to go back to the 1920s. It was never mailed. See there? You are there, aren't you, Patrick?
Yep.
Okay,
Those
just
are-
double checking.
These
All
are
right,
some of
so
my favorite things. I love these old folders.
going to go so quickly. So watch what happens. Out they fall. And these you don't pull these out. You mail the whole folder, you see. And I will just show you some of the houses. We ain't gonna go through all of them. But look here at the home of Charlie Chaplin. Now we're clearly in probably the late 1920s is my guess, based on architecture and so forth. And next we go, it's hard for me to see. Some of these folks I don't know. Well, there's Rudolph Valentino. I think
Gunther's asking if Pickfair is in there.
Pickfair, you mean Mary Pickford?
Yep, and Douglas Fairbanks. Their estate was Pickfair.
Well, let me keep going. There's Harold Lloyd. I could move into that at any moment. And we're looking for an opening bid of $9 on these. This is William S. Hart. And then we have Buster Keaton and Charles Ray. I'm going to go quickly. We have King Florence Vidor, Pola Negri. Look at old Pola. She was silent, wasn't she? Silent.
So KP is starting you out at $9.
Patricia Dean, Dustin Furnam. Now I don't know all of the names of these folks, and I guess when we get to the back, they get a little smaller. Oh, there's William Desmond and Betty Compson. I'd love that. That's classic 20s. Yeah. And then a half tutor. What do you call it? There's Norma Talmadge. That's nice. That sort of English style.
Florida Golden Girls in at 15.
And then there's Douglas McLean. I don't know Douglas McLean. I don't know all these. Antonio Marino. And then we've got all these little half size. These must be the smaller bit players. We won't go through all of these. I didn't see Douglas Fairbanks, and
you also have more on the back.
I do see Tom. Well, we did this side.
Oh, I thought those were the half ones are on the back side. Oh, okay.
I do see Tom Mix. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them in there. It's hard to get you to see it.
Yes.
It's really in excellent condition. It's the kind of a thing in those days, buses would drive around and let you see all the homes of the stars. It was actually never mailed, and it's in really nice condition. So we will count this down, and I think maybe Florida Golden Girl might have the high bid at 15.
That's what I see.
We're counting it down. 10, 9. Did my camera just get dark? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think something happened to my lighting. Let me fiddle with that. I may have to adjust it.
And I just saw the stop on my side, so I just put that in there.
Alrighty. Then if you'll...
I would say you look fine. I did not notice a change in your lighting, so I think you're okay.
Okay. And if you'll announce the winner for me, Patrick, is it Florida Golden Girl?
I do see a Florida Golden Girl at $15.
It's back to Patrick.
All right.
Thank you, Florida Golden. Appreciate that.
All right. So I'm trying to put in my note really quick because the next one I'm going to do is a quick to claim item. I have 7 of these available, and they are $5 each. And they are new old stock vintage hair tonic labels. So you've got Acme Hair Vigor, 40% grain alcohol. Gotta love when a product's basically just a bottle of alcohol. An excellent preparation for dandruff and falling hair.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed by Phil Eisenman, blah, blah, blah. And you can see at the bottom, prepared by Phil Eisenman of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So this is actually a Pennsylvania piece of history. These are embossed. So you can see a little bit better on the back. You can see how much of these are pressed into it. These are the types of things that these would have been glued directly onto. Oh, and let's see. In order to do this, you can give me T for tonic for the letter. If you want to claim it, just put a T in the chat. But these are great if you want to, get a vintage bottle. You can actually put some adhesive on this and put this directly onto a bottle. These also look fantastic framed with a piece of black velvet or some sort of a construction paper background. And it just looks great in your powder room, in your bathroom, anywhere, just for a little bit of decor. Because yes, I do have more than one, but what is the likelihood you are going to have anybody else in your friend circle that's going to have this hanging on their wall? So these are $5 each, and anyone who would like one, you get one for just putting T in the chat, and I will ship these to you in a nice little envelope for the cost of a stamp. So I'm trying to do it quickly so we can get through our stacks, because I brought way more than 10 items, so we've got more if we have time.
Oh, okay. Very good. I have a few more than that as well, but that's okay.
So anybody, $5 each, T in the chat, and you get one of those, and I'll pass it back to Scott.
I'm sorry. So go back to me now.
Yeah, going back to you quickly. They're the quick to claims are quick to go through.
Oh, okay. So we're back at me now.
Yep.
Okay. I will do.
I've got Briar Lee is picking up one of the tonics. So thank you, Briar Lee.
Okay, we'll let that continue on. I feel as if, hold on for a moment, infrastructure issues here. I guess it's not really infrastructure, but technicalities. Okay. I don't think anything is going to collapse. All right. Let's begin. Let me take the stop out of there. I hope this doesn't go in there. Okay, start. I had put a stop in, so we'll go ahead and put my start in, and my start is $15. And for $15, you are going to receive 10 cards. They are various cards. And let's take a look. So we will begin. They're all written in or written on, but they're in good condition. Here's an old Valentine, probably from the 30s. That's one of them. And so again, we're going to have 10. Yeah, you get all 10 of these for 15. There's one. That's just a little stand-up card on its own. A Valentine just for you with the kitty cat. I guess I should hold it back so it can be completely seen. Here's birthday greetings. This is sort of on the Art Deco style. And I don't know what you call it when it has this sort of sheen on the front. There's like a glimmer to it, to the paper. It's hard to get you to see it. But Pat, you guys know what I'm talking about. When it sort of has a glisten to it. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
It's a sheen. I think that's a good description of it.
Yeah, it's a sheen, as in Martin. Look at this. Hope your birthday is a corker. That's a good English term. We don't hear that in the U.S. that much, with a cork on it. See that with a little cork glued on there, written in. Now this one is a little naughty. PG-13. I'll let you just look at that for a minute. Do you know what's going to happen when I open it?
Actually, I don't know where this one's going.
Well, these are plastic.
Oh, they're dimensional. I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Are you seeing it now?
Yeah.
This is probably not an easy card to find. And when we open it up, woohoo!
Yep.
Oh, my word. Patrick, you knew that was coming.
Once I realized those were dimensional, yes, I knew exactly where that was going.
Okay, so look at that. I mean, when are you going to find a card like that again?
Don't want to send that through the mail these days. Those would get crushed.
No, and here's another one with like the sheen on it, and it's got a little kitty in a bag. And then we have one here for having your tonsils taken out. There can't be too many of these around today for tonsil removal, but that's an old one. Look at that. Aren't these sweet? I love this. This one also has that sort of glistening look on the front with the bulldog in. I guess he's a bulldog. I'm not sure what he is. But when you open it, It is articulated or movable or mechanical, whatever you say. And so his
eyes go up. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the little tongue moves. Look at that. This is crazy cool.
And these are so much fun. I've done a partnership with another channel. We did ephemera bowls and just things like this, just setting, on your end table or your coffee table when guests come over. Everyone remembers these. They're just fun and they love looking through them.
Absolutely.
Even if they're not yours, they just think they're funny because I didn't get any of these. I don't remember getting any of this cool.
And this says happy birthday. And it's the happy birthday pussycat. And there's a whole little type of a rhyme in there.
Oh, it's from the teacher.
Yeah.
And it's in great shape. That tail is still, all that die cut is still in perfect condition, not
perfect.
torn or anything.
That's right. So we're looking at an opening bid of $15. Haven't gotten any yet, I don't think. Look at the little teddy bear with the radio and the old candlestick telephone and the little Art Deco end tables. This is so sweet. These cards all date to really the 1920s, the 30s, and the 40s. So these are old. And we'll open this up and say, look at the little piece of yarn which connects because he's jumped out of the seat. And that's that. So
Regina Rainey gives you an opening bid of $15.
Okay, so Regina Rainey is at 15. And we're going to go through them again very quickly. So I'm not even gonna you gotta pay attention. There we go. Like what, that one, the kitty cat, the bulldog with the mouth that goes up and down, so cute. Having your tonsils out. There's another kitty cat in the bag with the yarn. This is the naughty one. Now look, this one has to be worth $15 on its own. When are you going to say, woohoo, if I knew you were coming out of Bake to Cake?
Jan bumps it up to $16.
Apparently she knew they were coming. Look at that with the cork on it. These aren't just run-of-the-mill. These are some nice ones. I love it. I think this one might be my favorite. I like those pastel 1930s colors. And then the two Valentines. So counting it down, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, Patrick. Let me know.
Okay, right now I've got Regina at 17. I just saw the stop, and it looks like Jan is going to be able to get in. Let me refresh really quick. And my stop comes through, so it looks like Jan came in at 18. So you show her at 16. Regina came in at 17, and then Jan came in again at 18 right before my stop.
I got you. Jan, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. We're going to hide that comment, and here comes Patrick.
All right. So I am based in Chicago, and I put my little message in here. This is going to start at 5. I traveled to the East Coast back in May because my daughter graduated from grad school in New York. And as part of that trip, I actually visited Scott, and we did some shopping together.
We did,
yeah. And these are one of the items that I picked up with Scott. So this is a set of Pennsylvania county ribbons. We've got a first, second, and third place. They're not all from the same year, but we've got 1933 is the third prize. 1932 is the first prize, and 1935 is the second prize. So these are all from Mount Joy, Pennsylvania, selling as a set. So you can get your own blue ribbon, your second place ribbon. Let's see, second place would have been the red, right? Yeah, red was the second prize.
And I think so.
Yellow was the third prize. So these are just fun. Again, ephemera, maybe awards would stick around a little bit longer, but what's the likelihood that awards from the 1930s would still be available, 90 years later? So this is $5 to start out to pick up the set. These, again, would look fantastic framed. They could just be cool little bookmarks that you use for your own, your own reading purposes. You put these into an ephemera bowl. People suddenly wonder, if you've got an East Coast or Pennsylvania connection. Do you know where Mount Joy is, Scott? I actually didn't look it up, so I don't actually know where Mount Joy actually is.
Good heavens, I do not believe that I do.
So wherever Mount Joy is, this was the 12th annual community exhibit. They still have the card on the back. So, hey, you could even you can give these to your friends. You could, suddenly make your first place friend, your second place friend, and your third place friend. You can do whatever you want with these. Okay. So Carmen is saying that that's Lancaster County. It's all right. Good to know. Mount Joy in Lancaster County. Again, from the 1930s, 32, 33, and 35. You get all three as a set. Opening bid is $5. And again, these would go into a fairly simple envelope and probably still be under an ounce, or definitely first class 2 or 3 ounces. So these would be available for a $5 start if anyone is interested in building their award ephemera collection. Pick these up. So Carmen's saying that her son lives over there. So all right. So we weren't actually anywhere near Lancaster. So I also find it fun picking up any sort of antiques, how things get to where they are. We were in Pennsylvania, but we weren't anywhere near Lancaster County, so that things move around. So these do not look like I've got an opening bid for any of these. So I don't think I'll do like a really quick countdown in case somebody wants to snipe in.
Sure,
so
why not?
We start at 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. So these would still be available for $5 if anyone would want one later. Oh, Alyssa is saying that her daughter lives in Lancaster County. Very nice. I have been through Lancaster County. We just didn't do it on that trip.
Okay, everyone, I have got for you something that's comical. And Patrick, would you be kind enough for me to type in the start, and we'll start at $5.
You bet.
I appreciate that. So $5, and what I've got are bridge cards. Now, growing up, nobody in my family ever played bridge. So I know it's complicated. Get that out of there. Okay, get myself out of there. There we go. But these are so comical. Look at the yarn on the top. But I'm just going to go very quickly through them. So we're going to start. You're going to get all of them, not one. You get the whole lot. Let me just show you that they have not been used, and this is what you have on the inside. Imagine the days when the ladies had their bridge club in the afternoon, and everybody had an ashtray and a little cocktail and some little cocktail peanuts and some little cup on the little folding table, and they would have these bridge cards and bridge tallies, right? Is that it? What you say, Patrick?
Bridge tallies, yep.
Okay, so let's just go through them quickly because they're comical. Let me get my fat fingers out of the way. Where did I put those tallies? They're also written on the back there. Are we playing bridge or watching television? That helps place these sometime after 1946, 47, 48. Yeah.
I figure bridge parties are pretty popular in the 50s. So most of the ones I come across end up being in the 50s.
What shall I serve at Bridge Club? Oh, the endless question.
And you know what I did last year for Christmas? I had a whole bunch of these bridge tallies from just all different designs. I made a little feather tree and hung them as ornaments on the tree. And
I think the graphics on these are wonderful. It's women.
They're fantastic. They're so cute. They're different because nothing like that exists anymore.
These are very cute, and these are women that are very frustrated about things, which is kind of funny. Look at this, girls. I have a new diet. She is so delighted to tell the girls about her new diet. I love that. I think that might be my favorite one. I love that one. Isn't that cute?
Love it.
You should have made an extra trick. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave that one right there on the table.
What kind of bridge is she playing?
We are not. Look at this one. She's got attitude. I don't know what she said. She says, anybody know a good babysitter? I love these. Would you please review the bidding?
Oh, yeah. That's the earliest days of Karen right there.
See her little turned up nose? She's like, She's
all right, Jenny Mac is opening up at $5.
She thinks she won. Look at that little turned up nose. Review the bidding. Honey, you lost. Do I say major or minor suit first? I love these little faces. Look at her. And she says, shall I risk it? Risk it, girl. You Absolutely. Don't have that. This may be your last chance. Go for it. I love these. This one says, you wouldn't have the ace, would you? I'm not telling you. With my poker, I couldn't play. I don't have a poker face. My face is too expressive. I would be horrible. Grand slam double rebound. I don't know what that means because I don't play bridge, but apparently it was either really bad or really good.
Yeah, that one I've not heard before, so I'm not sure what that one. She seems to need to recover from it.
She's recovering from something, and I think Jenny Mack is in at 5.
Yeah, she had the opening bid at 5.
Look at this. Oh, no comments. I'm going to tell you right now, if any of you get political, I'm going to put you away. We're not going there. You read it. Hush. We're all friends here. Whatever side you're on.
Because back then, it meant something very different.
It meant something very different. Okay. Let me hide that comment. But I did not pick that one. Okay, so there we go. How many of them are there? There are 12 of them, and they really are a lot of fun.
All right, Victoria bumps you up to 6.
Okay, count it down. Where's my favorite one? I guess I kind of like this one because she's had it. That's my mother when I was running around the house. What am I going to do with him? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're wonderful, and everyone is such good sports.
I've got the
you put
leg, put in the stop. Let me refresh really quick.
Okie doke.
Looks like Jenny Mack is in at $9.
Jenny Mack, and was that what was the opening?
The opening was 5.
Right. Okay, 9. Jenny Mack.
Yep.
Jenny, thank you, everyone who sat through all of that. Thank you, Jenny.
All right. And so we've got another case. We started the chat while I was in seclusion. You were all talking about vintage advertising, and I actually have a little stroll down memory lane for an advertising brand that I was not familiar with.
Oh.
What I have is new old stock. So these are quick to claim, and they will be $5 each. Do you remember Ipana toothpaste?
Yes, Ipana. I mean, I don't remember it, but it was on the radio.
So the only thing that I remember from Ipana, or recognize from Ipana, and I have 4 of these available. So these are $5 each. Just type in toothpaste and you'll get one of them. Is, if we all remember, this is how obscure I get into watching movies, or the minutia I get into watching movies. If you remember the movie version of Grease, when they're all in the slumber party and they sing "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Lee" or Sandra Dee. There's a commercial on the television of a beaver brushing his teeth, and one of the girls sings "Brusha, brusha, brusha, Ipana toothpaste." So that is the only reference I've ever heard of Ipana. So I think when I did the research on this, it was available through like the 60s. So I'm sure some people probably did know this. It had Bufferin, or I don't know if it had it. I guess there's an extra advertisement for Bufferin.
Oh,
so I'm assuming it didn't include Bufferin in the actual toothpaste, but who knows? So we've got Bristol Meyer. What's great, Ipana dyed your gums red to make your teeth look whiter. Oh, wow. Yeah, brushy beaver. So these are the boxes. And I don't want to like open them up because these are new old stock, so they've never been creased. But what I think would be cool about these is you could actually turn these into a little gift box. So if you've got, if you're giving somebody cash, roll up the money inside the box and tape that up, wrap it up. They suddenly open and think you're giving them a tube of toothpaste. And they open up and you get a nice little gift for birthday or for Christmas, or a gag gift, whatever you choose.
Patrick, may I jump in for just 1 second?
Absolutely.
Just in case folks don't know, and this is new to me, so it's helpful. So quick claim $5 means anybody can jump in at any second and say, I want it for $5, and they win.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry if I'm using a term you don't normally use. So this is just a traditional, you want it, tell me you've got it. I've got 4 of them. So even if you've got a little bit of a lag.
All right, folks.
We don't have to worry about it as much because I have 4. Okay. So anybody wants it, just type in toothpaste and you will get the box of Ipana toothpaste for $5.
Sweet.
Plus shipping. And Bucky Beaver. So I'll pass that over to you. Okay, so Regina just said, I want it. So I'm assuming that that's you want it. So that's good. So thank you,
Okay.
Regina.
So Regina takes one, and the other three will continue to be available for those
Absolutely.
who want to. Oh, okay. Sounds like a good thing. And we're going to hide that. And you've got that down. You
Yep.
have that, Patrick. Okay. Okay. So
I got you, Regina. Thank you so much for picking one up.
Okay. Look at this. $12 to start. I put that 12 to start. So that means $12. We're going to start at $12. Look at what I've got. I've got a little booklet here, and it's pretty fat. So it's not just some little pamphlet. What is it? It's called How to Work Wonders with Your Home Decorating Made Easy. The new simplified step-by-step methods, traditional and modern homes, professionally illustrated with photographs, charts, sketches, and, quote, this is how, unquote, guides, which this is how is probably, today we say do it yourself, right? But do it yourself, I don't think existed then, so they called it this is how. What year? 1950. This is a 1950 home decorating booklet, and it is full, and I mean full. Now, the 1950s, that ain't my era. You know that. I'm 20s and 30s and 40s. So I am delighted to pass this on, and we're just going to very quickly go through it. You've got everything from draperies, furniture. Oh my word, it's all in here. Look at this, how to place your, how to work wonders in your home. I guess I should stand up. I'm getting so excited. If you like mid-century and you're into the 1950s, and again, this is published in 1950. Let's get in here. Look at all this. It's so difficult, you know, and it's frustrating when you're doing ephemera because you want to show everything and you just can't do it.
Love that kind of stuff. So everyone questions what kind of furniture was available when. Well, here we go.
Here we go. And what's
what
wonderful about this is it's going to tell us what Queen Anne, Chippendale, Hepplewhite, Sheraton, French provincial city, French provincial country. This is furniture that you could have bought in 1950. Then we've got early colonial New England, Duncan Fife, Regency, Victorian, classic modern, organic modern. Look at the organic modern furniture down there at the bottom. Are you seeing that?
Yeah. So that's just your earliest days of mid-century modern right there.
Your earliest days. This is 1950. So we're after the war and everybody is trying to find a new home. And this is, you know, this is priceless. If you, Patrick, you know, you gave me that book on, look at how to do your window treatments.
This is just, this kind of stuff is so important to have available. And it's hard to find sometimes online because people are just spitting off, oh, I heard this somewhere. And it's like, no, here's an actual firsthand documentation of what window treatments looked like in 1950.
And Patrick, let me tell you, that book that you gave me on home decoration of 1923, and my home was built in 1925. I was reading several articles in there about the front porch, how to decorate the sunroom and the front porch and all of this. And some folks are questioning me about, well, I'm not sure that they had this. Oh, yes, they did. Color, bright color. It talked all about the colors and the fabrics and everything. This is firsthand information on trying to read. This is not somebody telling you what they think existed or remembered, but that's it, 1950.
And you had Carmen and Cheesecake came in simultaneously at 12. So as I was refreshing that, it doesn't matter because Mama T-Bird came in at 14.
Okay. So it just goes on. And I love this. And I guess I better stop talking about it. So let's count it down. Here we go. You ready? I'm counting it down. How many pages? Let me tell you quickly how many pages. It's in good shape. It does not smell like a basement. Well, let me smell it. It just smells like old paper. And there are I don't know, about 122 pages inside. How to decorate your home, 1950. 10, 9, 8. Somebody's still talking about Prel shampoo. I was talking about that 40 minutes ago. I love it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll see if anyone else slipped in there. Patrick is going to put in.
I just saw the stop. Let me refresh really quick. And it looks like cheesecake came in just before the stop. Let me refresh again because I'm looking on two screens and I've got two different answers.
KP, I hope it's not a 30-minute lag.
So I've got cheesecake at 17. Mama T-Bird did try and come back in at I think 18, but she came in after my stop. So I've got cheesecake at 17 as your high bid.
Cheesecake, I love your name. Now, I think you might be new to me, and so I would kindly ask you if you could go ahead and email me. And I did not put, would one of my lovely moderators, I'll tell you, but perhaps one of the moderators would place in there for me. And I forgot to say this. If you've purchased from me before, let's bring in Patrick. This is true for both of us. If you have purchased from us before, we have your information. If you're brand new, I'll speak for myself. I don't know about Patrick, but if you're brand new tonight and you've never purchased anything before, welcome, welcome. I love it. Could you shoot me an email during the broadcast so I know you're good, legit? Tomorrow morning I can get up and send you an invoice and we're good to go. So I think maybe KP has just placed that in there, and I appreciate that. They might not have, my moderators might not have your information, Patrick.
My email address is actually on the screen. So on my name actually has that. So just grab it straight from there. And
would you like folks, if they're new to you, would you like them to do the same?
It doesn't have to be during if you choose to, please. But after the sale is fine. Because again, for those who came in later, I probably will not be invoicing until Thursday or Friday. But the sooner you send it, the less worried I have to be of wondering, who is this? Or I have to bother Scott to say, hey, do you know who this is? And because there are already many names that I do not recognize. So appreciate people trusting me for the first time. I am Trusty Huckster.
Indeed you are. And I have to stop for a minute because this is what's so fun about this community. I started about 45 minutes ago, and within the first 2 seconds, I don't know how I started talking about Prel shampoo. And here we are 45 minutes later. And who is that? Patricia Biddle has jumped in here and she's asking people about that cream. I love it. One of the things that
just the term cream rinse puts you into a whole different era.
It does, but it's kind of neat that there's a running commentary going where people are remembering things and enjoying. That's why we get together and we do this. Yeah. So it's more than just buying and selling. It's a lot of fun. And so Patricia, yes, I do remember that somewhere along the line, and let's get you out of there. And it's Patrick's turn and I'll stop talking.
All right. So for those that don't know me, I do tend to lean a little bit more on the true antique side, but I also kind of start covering some of the same eras that Scott likes to do, that interwar era between World War I and World War II. And so I found these, and I don't normally, I'm going to put this in there really quick. It's a $5 start. What this is a set. I don't typically do sheet music because, not that many people are going to be interested in playing sheet music anymore. But I picked these up because of the era that they are and that they're all military themed. So these are all interwar. They all got the copyrights on there. And you can tell just by the artwork what wars we are promoting here. Because these are all military. So we've got the bell-bottom trousers. I'm going to go through them really quickly to show what you get in all of them. Bell-bottom trousers. The caissons go rolling along, which, let's all also refresh our memories. Like, the caissons go rolling along.
I'm trying so hard not to
over there. Okay. So we get that one. This fantastic, a boy in khaki, a girl in lace. Just check out the imagery on these. These look fantastic framed. You do not need to have PayPal. I will invoice you using a PayPal account, but you can always pay PayPal just using a credit card. You do not have to have a PayPal account to do that. No worries whatsoever.
Very good.
Then we've got a World War I era, and he'd say, ooh la la, wee wee.
Yeah.
And you can see just based on what she's wearing, we've got Scott sitting there going to what month and year that dress was probably made.
Oh, those French girls.
And you got the doughboy military uniform with the what were they, patties? What was the leg wraps? I can't remember what they're called.
I think we have a bit. Adam is in at $5. Is that where we started, Patrick?
$5 is the start. Thank you, Adam. $5. So it's basically you get 5 of these. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
Oh, so a lot of folks will remember that one from the Second World War.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit more graphic, but what I really like about this one is it actually has the war bonds ad right on the front. So as a military themed, these are just fantastic, and just the graphics on this. Again, it's kind of showing a very raw image of the war. I mean, that guy looks like he's been shot. Yeah. All of them are sheet music. Most of them are just 2 pages. This one actually has another insert. I got to see Linda. Allie came in at 6, and Linda bumped up to 7. So this one is I get to practice my my Roman numerals. So yes. 1942. So again, World War II, not a big surprise, but even just based on the graphics. He'd say, ooh la la, wee wee. This one is primarily, most of these, the graphics are just going to be on the front. But this one also had Roman numerals. So this one was 1919. So we're at the very end of World War I. Mm-hmm. And I agree, Dave. That's the reason I picked these up. I'm not expecting anyone to want to play these. These just would look fantastic framed or as gifts. If you know someone who's in the military, this is just something they're not going to see. And I sell a lot of military themed ephemera, and I just sent something to, it was an old Army Navy program from 1944, and I just shipped it to Camp Lejeune. I love sending stuff like this to people in the military because they recognize the history. And, a lot of this stuff isn't going to be around anymore. Oh, didn't even need the Roman numerals. 1942. So boy in khaki, girl in lace, 1942. Caissons go rolling along. This one is a little bit more subtle in the art because it's only one spot color on a yellow paper. This one does have more text in the front of it with all the chorus lyrics. And this one was 1936. So we're actually prior to World War II. And then the bell-bottom trousers, just again, they could be singing on the town as they're walking in their little sailor uniforms there. And this one was 1944. And yes, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. This is for all of them. You get all 5. Currently, Patsy has it at $11. You get all 5 of these. I don't get into the choice thing because it just slows up the sale and gets really confusing as people are trying to figure out which ones they want. You get them all. So all 5 military themed, all between World War I and World War II. And we currently have the highest bid is with Jenny Mack at 13. So I appreciate everyone. A lot of names coming in that I don't know. So I appreciate everyone giving me a chance, and we'll get these out clean to you. Oh, Jenny just wants one. Well, you can resell the others or give them as gifts. So you get all 5. So this is for all 5. I'll go ahead and start the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Kylo Bear, though I do not have Red Wings. They are 19. These are all 19th century, but no Red Wings. So let's wait for Scott to refresh.
I will hit refresh, and I believe I see Mama T-Bird at 25.
Okay, that's what I see as well.
Patrick, do you confirm?
That is what I see as well. Mama T-Bird at 25 right before the stop. And thank you, Patsy, for trying to get in there, but Mama came in. Your second bid came in after, but Mama was higher anyway.
Okay.
So Mama snuck in at 25. So thank you so much, Mama T-Bird.
And bear with me for uno momento. I happen to know the next line to bell-bottom trousers, and it is coat of navy blue.
I didn't know that song.
Well, bell-bottom trousers, coat of navy blue.
Well, okay.
He
Well,
was a sailor, blah, 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 blue.
yeah, that's the chorus. Bell-bottom trousers, coat of navy blue. She loves her sailor,
and he loves her too.
Loves her too. Yep, it starts with once there was a little girl who lived next to me. So yeah, so you got the chorus. No, I wasn't familiar with that one. All right. Again, thank you so much, Mama T-Bird, for picking that up. I'm glad you got those, and I'll make sure to ship them out.
This is special to me because it's from the year 1915. And 3 of my grandparents were born in 1915. My mother's parents were born in 1915. My father's father was born in 1915, and his mother a couple of years after that. So when I look through this, I think of the year that 3 of my grandparents were born, and I was very fortunate and blessed to have known all 4 of my grandparents, including 3 of my great-grandparents. And I'd like to show you now what I've got for sale. And on this catalog, Patrick, would you mind typing in for me?
Yep.
$15 for 1915. We're going all the way back to 1915. And we're going to start at $15. And bear with me for a moment, and then I will get my face out of here and let you see the pictures. This is the standard mail order catalog from New York City, July and August of 1915.
And KP's already in at 15.
And it's absolutely delightful. It's not missing anything. I got to stand up. You know what I have to do. So we'll pull back a little bit. The front cover is there. The back cover is there. This is not a catalog that has a glossy front and back, but this is the front and this is the back. This is the way they did it in those days. You'll see the spline is, the staples are in there.
KP's at 20.
Coming apart just a little bit. And it's all clothing. Nothing but clothing. I think, well, there might be curtains in here as well, or linens. And it's just so hard to get you to see. But typically, the women come in the front. We'll just look at the back for just a little bit. Just going to show you a little bit. So nothing's missing from it. Look at the men's clothing from 1915. So I think about my great-grandparents who were living at that time. And look at all the beautiful shirt waists for the women. It's just a lovely piece, a lovely magazine. It's really not in bad condition. I would say it's not crumbling. It's not falling apart. The paper is, ooh,
it's in great condition. I mean, I specialize in selling some of that stuff, and I love those, and that's in great condition.
Look at the clothing.
Great illustrations. Adam's at 21.
And so we'll go through, and here's the different lace that you can have. Of course, it's mostly for the women. There's not a whole lot for the men. We do have shoes, and we have a little bit. Look for the children. Look at the little outfits for the children.
Kylo's at 22. 59 cents, 95 cents.
Look at the outfits for the children as portraying, you know, stereotypically Native Americans. And we know that times have changed, and thankfully that they have. Millinery, what is it?
A person's a milliner. So millinery?
Yeah, for hats, millinery. Yeah, it's hard to say. Get your hats trimmed. Oh, the days of the hat.
Kylo's at 22.
So it really is.
And those are another case. Yours is in such a good shape, you'd hate to do it, but those also look fantastic framed because they're just you get a nice mat around that. You suddenly put that in your bedroom, your powder room. Oh,
There's
wow.
some linen, so you get to see some of the blankets that were available in 1915. Here is more bargains. Here's sleepwear. There's
Patsy's asking if there's any sleeping hats like you sold last night.
oh, good heavens! I would have to look.
You've just found the sleepwear section.
Here are the coats.
Oh, the overcoats. Beautiful. The days when ladies wore hats.
And I'm trying not to handle it too much. The more you handle it, you don't want to handle it. So I'm going to look at these long skirts. Boy, this is Edwardian, right? It's 1915, and little did the women know that in 1915, what would happen? Well, some of them had the vote. We always think of the vote in 1920, but some states, it was gradual. Nationally, women had the vote in 1920. That was the first national election when women could vote all across the country, 1920. And we think about prohibition taking place after the war, and the skirts were going to be shortened, and they were going to roll up those stockings and put that lipstick on and cut off that hair and throw away those corsets and go to town. And boy, they did. But look at what they were wearing in 1915. I'll count it down because I'm talking too much. 10.
Florida Golden Girls at 25.
There are a couple of sleeping hats. That might be one right there. I know someone asked. That might be that's a bonnet for the car, but that might be a sleeping bonnet there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I took up too much time on that one. And I apologize if I was
it's popular. You've got people asking for it.
Hogging the camera on that. I didn't mean to.
All right, let me refresh. Looks like Florida Golden Girl is the highest at 25.
Oh, what have I just done? Wait a minute. Okay. Florida Golden Girl, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for letting me spend so much time on that. Patrick, you get some extra minutes.
I'm actually going to send this back to you quickly because I've got a quick claim. And I only have 2 of these. And there's a note there that one of these, it's a gift. So make sure you check the note. So we are going fast forward 80 years because I usually do more. I don't like get into an argument of what's the definition of vintage, but we'll just say these are from the 90s. And I have 2 sets of these. We're not going to get into the politics once again, because I'm going to give you both. We've got, let's see, they say something on the side. There's, their quick claim is $10 for the pair, and I have 2 pairs. One of them is the Democratic donkey, and he folds his legs down, and you get that little honeycomb party decor. You could hang him or set him on a table. So I've got the Democratic donkey and the Republican elephant. So no one is being left behind here. Both of them were designed by the same company. Both of them designed at the same time. And I've got the 2 people that I didn't even tell you what they typed in the 10. That you're getting them 10. So I've got 2 people that wanted them. Debbie Phillips and Patsy M are taking the 2 sets that I have. You get both. And they just let you know exactly what you're getting. It's from 1991, Paper Fantasies. And what I find fascinating about this, they're made in Denmark. So 1991, our American political decor was being made in Denmark. So that wouldn't happen today. Now you would almost guarantee all these would be made in America just so people would be happy. So $10, and I've got 2 sets, and I will get those off to Patsy M and to Debbie Phillips. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to begin. Thank you, everyone. We're going to begin now at $8 on the 1930s Mixmaster catalog. If you've got a 1930s kitchen and a Mixmaster, you've got to have the 1930s Mixmaster catalog. And we know it's from the 30s because look at the jadeite bowls. When we get into the 40s, these jadeite bowls are out of style and the bowls become white. There's not actually a date on the booklet, which has lots of recipes in it, and it tells you all about the attachments. Look at her. Don't you want her in your kitchen right now, whipping up some ginger snaps? That's everybody's grandmother, isn't it? At the Mix Master. And so it's really nice. It's in great condition. And you can see there on the front, it's Mix Master Magic. Look at the jadeite bowls with all the attachments. And the great thing is, it's full of recipes and pictures. And we can also see this is just as we are transitioning, because you could still get the Mix Master with the jadeite bowls, but they were also introducing the all white. So we're in the very late 30s on this. The very late 30s. And this was heavily used by somebody, because when we open it up and we look at the first page of recipes, look at all of this. Look at that. That's honest use. Now, you know that sat on Granny's counter.
What was the start on this, Scott?
I don't even remember.
I don't think you typed it in, and I don't think I did either.
I didn't type it in, so we'll just let people jump in if they want to.
Carmen opened it at 8.
Well, that's very good. All right, Carmen, we opened it up at 8. Everybody remembers their mother's recipe books splattered like that, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
And so there are a ton of recipes in here. But what's really nice, I think, is you get to see all of the different mix masters, some of the different models, and the different attachments and how you use them. And it's cream and green, and it's all there. And if I had a mix master, I would keep this. But I actually have a Magic Maid, I think is what it's called. So we'll count this down. Ready? Here we go. Counting it down. Let me sit back down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You get recipes 3, 2. Sorry, Patrick. 1.
All right, got the stop, and it looks like Carmen was the opening bid at $8. Oh, and Heirloom Vintage said you did say 8. I was just looking up something else, so I missed it. So
okay,
no, you're good, Carmen. He said 8. You started at 8. All good.
It works. And it's Patrick's turn. Thank you, Carmen. Back to you, Patrick.
All right. So as Scott alluded to, when I visited him, I think this last trip, I had picked up something when he was getting his 1925 bungalow. I picked up a house decor. It was like I think an insert from like a magazine insert from a newspaper for 1923. Mm-hmm. I couldn't quite get to that close to his house this time. I went on the other side. We've got picture books, the picture book of houses. This is from 1931. This is a $10 start. This is technically a children's book. So it is the picture book of houses from New York, the Macmillan Company, 1931. But what this does is it gives you the text as well as the illustrations of the different types of houses and house plans. We've got Greek and Roman, how the homes would have been laid out. We've got fantastic full color illustrations for a boar hunt passes under the walls of a medieval castle. Then we're going to go up to an Arab boy rides past some homes in Cairo. And all this has texts and stories written for children to understand how homes were built around the world. So Palace of Venice, which faces on the street of the water. So a lot of these are 2-page full color illustrations, and some of them are the black and white illustrations, and they're kind of set up in chapter form. but just check out some of the colors of some of this artwork. Again, we've got a Japanese house. We've got Mount Fuji in the background. It's like, just again, specifically, this is designed for kids in 1931.
Wow.
So the World War I has already happened. They haven't even called it World War I yet because they haven't had another one. And this is going to be they didn't have CNN. They didn't have, 24/7 news cycle. So this was just some fantastic illustrations for them to learn about how people lived around the world. You've got, they're using the term Eskimo, but again, 1931, that would have been what they would have been using, with no disrespect. Pueblo houses.
Yeah.
Thank you for Heirloom Vintage Collectibles, starting at 10. Jacqueline. Siamese house. So again, a term that no longer exists. Siam became Thailand. An apartment house in America today. Today meaning 1931. So just, again, just the way it's like, they're almost like block prints. This would have been mass produced, but an English country estate, key with little key of all the different pieces of a country estate. So they're somewhat educational, not quite getting into how the furniture was made or anything like that, but it does have a book plate in the back. But in general, it's just this great little 1930s vintage children's book that's at $10. So I'm going to go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will stop.
And I am going to go ahead and do that. There's about an 8-second lag.
Yeah, there's a pretty serious lag for you and me.
We have about an 8-second lag from Jersey to Chicago, but I see Patsy M, I believe. Well, no, wait a minute. Yeah, it's Patsy M, I think, at 18.
I see that as well. Thank you so much, Patsy M. I can slide your little Republican and Democrat party favors right alongside that.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Well, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
It is 9:11, and we have been at this for an hour.
We have.
We've got another hour to go, or we're going to go up to about 10 o'clock or so. It's kind of my tradition to take a little intermission. We all need to just go whoo for just a second.
Let's all go to the lobby. Okay.
Let's have a little 5-minute intermission just for a second to go whoo, and then we'll come right back in again if that's okay. I kind of like to do a little bit of an intermission. Give everybody just a second in case you need to run and refresh. I'm drinking a Diet Coke out of a can, and I'm going to be noshing on a blueberry pastry crisp.
Oh, you just went all out today, didn't you?
I am breaking it. Last night I had 3 little wafer crackers. It's Tuesday, so now we're getting into the blueberry.
Well, I will have one of my ginger snaps in your honor.
I'm delighted. And you know what? Let's throw this, since you mentioned ginger snap, while we're on our little 5-minute intermission. Here is the question. Pumpkin spice, yes or no? I drove through, Patrick says yes. I say no. I drove through Dunkin' Donuts and they had their pumpkin spice, and I said no, I'm not doing it.
It's a little early for me. I do feel that is a seasonal thing, but it's also, I'm from the Midwest, so we've got pumpkins that actually grow all around us. So
yes,
I think we were either the number 1 or second largest state to produce pumpkins. So it is a little bit of a local thing.
So you are ready to embrace pumpkins right now.
I'm ready to get out of the summer. I'm ready to get out of humidity. I'm ready to get into 50 and 60 degree weather as opposed to 80 and 90 degree weather.
Okay.
I don't have the Jersey Shore to hop over to. I did go to the shore of Lake Michigan this weekend, and it was very nice and breezy along the Lake Michigan, but you went in a quarter of a mile just away from and suddenly it was just muggy and hot and sticky and humid. It was just disgusting.
Well, you help yourself to your pumpkin spice. I am going to say no candy corns, no pumpkin spice, not yet.
Okay, do not equate candy corn and pumpkin spice. Candy corn is disgusting.
About it until after Labor Day. I am not ready to say goodbye to summertime. I happen to enjoy the heat, the humidity, and swimming in the ocean, and I'm going to do it as long as I can. But anyway, this is Intermission. Someone says, do you remember intermissions at the movies? And no, I don't remember intermission at the movies. Do you?
I watch so many old movies that they do exist even in the recreations. Like Gone with the Wind has a very extended, like they have an entr'acte of music for their intermission. I don't know. I don't think by the time we were kids growing up, I don't think movies were long enough to justify an intermission.
I don't remember that.
And I think the let's all go to the lobby thing, that was actually in the beginning, like the little dancing hot dog and stuff.
Mm.
Oh, the guy playing the Wurlitzer pipe organ during intermission. Oh, intermission at the drive-in, I remember, but that wasn't really an intermission. That was usually there was a double feature at the drive-in. So there was the time in between the two movies. I didn't go to a lot of drive-ins, but I do vaguely remember that.
I will never forget being put into our pajamas, thrown into the back of the Ford Fairmount station wagon, and driven to see That Darn Cat at the drive-in. And we were supposed to fall asleep in our pajamas and be carried into the house. Nothing. I never went to sleep when I was told to. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everyone. We've got 249 folks with us tonight, and I'm so glad that everyone is here, and I hope you're having a good time. Thanks to everyone who's joining us. We're going to get right back into the ephemera sale. And every time I'm watching Patrick, I am very envious of his quarter-sawn oak, also known as tiger oak, piana, which if I ever make it to your neck of the woods, I am going to rip off Scott Joplin's gladiolus rag and his maple leaf rag on that piana, because I don't have one like that in my home, and I wish I did.
And this is this is not a family heirloom in a traditional sense, but when my daughter was 6 years old and starting piano lessons, this was the piano we picked up for her. Had the piano teacher came to the house, because playing a vertical grand, 100-year-old vertical grand, is very different than playing an electric keyboard. So she came, and so when she plays the piano now, she never really got like super skilled, but she did know how to play. She will now just pound out any piano that she's at because she's used to doing it here. So my piano turned 100 in 2020, the same year I turned 50. And we decided that I was celebrating my piano's 100th before I celebrated my 50th. So, yeah. But yes, I love to look at it.
There's nothing like an old upright piano that sounds as if it has been dipped in vinegar.
When a lot of people see this and they assume it's like a spinet or something, it actually has a harp that is the size of a baby grand piano. So it's
yes, they do.
Vertical grand. And I remember when I moved, the movers came to do their little estimates and everything. And I assumed I was going to need to get a piano mover. And they're like, oh no, we move pianos like that all the time. I'm like, you sure? Like, yeah, that's not a problem. We can just do it with our regular. I'm like, you sure? Can you just write that down? Just make sure it's included in the quote. And when they went to move it the day of the move, they were angry. They were like, we didn't know it's going to be this heavy. I'm like, look, that is not my problem. You guys estimated it. If you've never moved a vertical grand, you learn as you go.
Patrick, my back problems are blamed upon moving too many upright pianos in the back of a pickup truck.
Absolutely. I had to move a square grand piano one time, and that I thought was going to kill me. So that I only owned for a short period of time. I bought it before I moved into my 1920s bungalow, and the movers were about to carry it up the front porch. And they said, if we carry it up the porch, it will not last on the porch. We will rip through the floorboards. And so we never got it into the house. So yeah, those pianos are not lightweight. These are not spinets. These are not the little practice pianos at the grade school. So sounds beautiful. It needs to be tuned, but it looks fantastic. And for those that don't know, I'm sitting at my dining room table right now. This is actually the head chair of my dining room table.
Well, hint. I have a tuning hammer, and I apprenticed with a piano tuner, and I would be happy to give you, the service.
Fantastic. Aren't you just the jack of all trades? Fantastic.
Well, we'll see. Listen, let's get back to it. Thank you, everyone. Intermission is over. Thanks for letting us do that. It's always fun to kind of just like pause, and people are putting memories in, and we're reading it. I can see it over there on the side. You're talking about old pianos and things. Okay. Now, everyone is going to clutch their pearls when you see what I'm about to show you, because it is so unlike anything that you would think the old curiosity shop would ever be selling. In fact, I'm keeping Patrick right there. I want to see his face.
Is it your turn or is it my turn?
I don't know. Mixmaster, is it your turn?
What sold for 18? No, that was mine, I guess. Yes, it's your turn.
Okay. So look up.
Because I went first. You should have been the last one to go. Never mind. Go ahead.
Look up. Look me in the eyes.
Looking.
All right. I want to see your face when I hold up what I'm selling next. And everybody else, they're going to go, what? Here we go. $8. 8 doll hairs is what I'm looking for. And you will get 2 magazines. You'll get this one.
George Michael.
And you'll get this one.
Wow.
These are not reproductions. Guess who purchased these magazines new?
Are these coming from your personal collection?
They are.
That is fan. They're worth way more than $8.
I've been holding on to these. And you get to a point, you're digging through the drawers and you say, why am I holding on to my tax return from 1910? You get rid of it. I am not. Yes, I was the president of my Cyndi Lauper fan club in high school. I'm not selling my Cyndi Lauper, but I am selling the ultimate collector's edition. This, well, pardon?
Jay DeMera is starting you at 8.
I can't believe I've got a bid. What's the date on it? I don't know. I can't remember, but I bought these. Oh, December. This is December of 1988.
I would have guessed 88. Absolutely.
That's December of 88. I was in college at that time as an undergrad. This one is, good heavens. Oh, I don't know. When did Madonna?
Are we the Desperately Seeking Susan era, like 86?
Oh my word! I mean,
clothes.
It'll take me. It would take me a minute to find it, but this one's not falling apart. This one is falling apart a little bit. I guess I looked at this one more. It's still together, but it's falling apart just a little tiny bit. So if
it looks like the interior paper of that looks like it's a different quality than the other, so that's probably why it's not holding it together.
Yeah, this one has turned yellow.
Yeah, it's just a different quality paper. The other one looked like it was all glossy on the inside because it was
the other one was glossy.
Yeah.
But this is all. I mean, this is all Wham. Remember Wham?
Absolutely.
Well, I think this is when he left Wham and was out on his.
I want to say there's a Netflix show right now about Wham. I haven't seen it, but I want to see. I've seen it come across the screen.
Well, sadly, he is not with us any longer. He passed a few years ago. Did you know that?
I actually don't think I did. I didn't realize he passed away.
I'm thinking I'm remembering that right.
I'm not questioning you. I can't say I really follow him.
Well, I'm questioning myself, but I believe George Michael passed away 4 or 5 years ago. Somebody tell me, but
You gotta remember,
there
he's
it
going
is.
on Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. Devon said yes, I loved Wham.
Didn't he pass away?
I'm assuming somebody else in the chat will clarify yes or no. Yes, he did. JP did clarify. Yes, he did.
And then this one is all Madonna. It's all 80s. Yeah. I mean, that's as 80s as it gets.
That really is.
And I'm parting with
Color
it.
block backgrounds. Yeah, that's so Madonna too.
What am I going to do with this? It's going to sit in a box until I'm 90. You know what?
Oh, wow. He passed away in 2016.
Oh, that was longer than I thought.
Oh, yeah, way longer than I thought. That's why I guess why I didn't remember it. He wouldn't have been that old.
I guess you can tell the era of these. So no more talking, counting it down. Here we go. 10. You get both of them. I guess we have a bid somewhere in there. Back to the 80s. 10.
Jada Mare has you at 8.
It's part of my youth. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wham! Wake me up before you go.
Okay, a couple more bids came in. Okay, I just saw your countdown, so I throw my stop. Let me refresh.
Turn a different corner, and we never would have met. Would you care?
All right. So then I've got Patsy. Yep, all places. I got Patsy is the highest at 14.
Patsy, are you an 80s girl? Did you have big hair and blue eyeshadow? Come on, Patsy. It's Patsy M at 18.
Yep.
Okay.
14.
Patsy M at 14.
Yes. Well, Jada Mare was trying to get it. She was born in 79, so she said she was an 80s girl, but I don't see if Patsy, if she had said where she was born.
You don't have to admit it, Patsy, but let's bring Patrick back big time there. And thanks for letting me show you those.
Fun stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go backpedal a couple of decades.
Okay.
So we've got, this is just a fun item. I was trying to figure out exactly when this is from. There's no information on here specifically, but based on the artwork, you got an evil looking child here in the corner. But you've got the little sunflowers. I'm thinking this is maybe 60s or 70s. Not 100% sure. It is exactly what it says. It is an instant playhouse. So now you all get to watch me try and see if I can do this. It is a cardboard fold flat house.
Oh my gosh.
Before your eyes, you watch this take place, take shape of a home with a chimney, playroom, earthquake.
Well, that is so cute.
And it is a $10 start. I'm sorry, I didn't type that in. So $10 start.
Don't we love our evil children?
Absolutely. Well, in my eyes, most children are evil, but that's another story. So it has all the decorations on all. Oh, Florida Gold Girl said she had one of these. So, like, based on the illustrations on here, I thought it was probably 60s. But I honestly don't know. When I looked for the name of the company, which is printed on here, it's from the Winthrop Toy Company, and they were doing stuff as late as the 80s. That was like formed furniture, like little dressers and dollhouse furniture. This, I think, I don't think this would be 80s, particularly with the carousel artwork on here. That just makes it seem earlier. And that evil looking child. So, you know, all this cartoon, all these clown things, I would put this like 50s, 60s. And then I originally would have said 50s until I saw the little sunflower, like flower child thing kind of in there. So like maybe we're getting into the 60s. So that's my guess. Unfortunately, I usually base it on zip codes, but the town that this was made in is small enough it wouldn't necessarily have had a zip code, and they may not have included it. So 5-digit zip codes were added in 1963. So I want to say this is before 1963, but I can't swear to that. So it's got all the different walls. I will say Condition wise, it's in fantastic condition. Like, you've got all these different rooms, the doors swing open. I do think once upon a time, this piece was attached here. So you can see there looks to be a little bit of a separation there. So I think this all would have folded flat. It still works. You saw me put it together, but I do think at once upon a time that might have been. But I think this is hard to put together. So probably putting it together, that got torn. For 4-inch dolls. I don't think it's said. I do have my calendar. I do have my ruler. So hold on. We will measure the doorway.
Very good.
Do I have a doorway?
We want to make sure we can get in.
It doesn't actually appear to have a front door. So we'll measure to the top of the window. So from the base to the top of the window is 4 inches. Oh, no, it says on the side. Okay, hold on. I don't remember seeing that. Let me put my cheaters on. Opens in seconds, fold flat, store away in closet or drawers. Oh, for all 4-inch miniature dolls. Thank you so much. Winthrop Atkins Company. Okay, now here's a flash of the past. For all 4-inch miniature dolls, including such as Pee-wee, Itsy Bitsy, Trolls, Little Kittles, Tiny Tot, etc. And Pee-wee, Itsy Bitsy, Little Kittles, and Tiny Tots all have the little trademark logo on there. So I don't know any of those. I probably should have looked those up. It's Pee-wee, Itsy Bitsy, Little Kittles, and Tiny Tots. I mean, I recognize Trolls, but Trolls I just know is like those weird hair, those springy hair things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what it's talking about. So that is what was on the side, and that is now the base. And so if I fold it flat again, you can see, like, even on the back side, you've got the floor is printed. You got a little shuffleboard court included in there. The little garden walls. Check out the fruit on the wallpaper in the kitchen. So
I love it.
There was a $10 start. I think I did have a starting bid of $10. I don't know if I had anything above that, but I'll start counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So Little Kittles came out in the mid 60s. So, okay, so we're pushing it into the 60s, which goes along with that little flower child thing. All right. And if we scroll backwards.
Right.
Just Kylo Bear.
It may be Kylo Bear at 10, I believe.
That's all that I'm seeing. Okay. Congratulations, Kylo Bear. $10.
I've heard of the Tiny Tots from the Christmas song, Tiny Tots with their eyes open wide, something. But I don't know. Alyssa and some of the others remember these little Kittle things.
Yeah, Little Kittles. None of those are familiar, but, those date back before me.
It's funny, though, because, Patrick, in terms of things for children, there are things that I remember that only existed in 1 year.
True.
For instance, like child's television programs, things like Land of the Lost. There's certain things that they were on for 1 season, maybe 2. And you had to be like 9 or 10 years old, or you have no idea who Electra Woman and Dinah Girl was.
Yep. Because not everything was syndicated. They didn't have the reruns like they do now. You only had 3 channels, so they were fighting for space, trying to show what was going to be on TV.
It's so funny that things can only exist for maybe 1 or 2 seasons. And when you remember things from childhood, sometimes things last, like the Slinky and Silly Putty, those things. But there are times when things like the Rock'em Sock'em robots, very short-lived. But who remembers Electra Woman and Dinah Girl? I'm not going to sing it. Do you?
I recognize the name, but I don't think I would recognize them. I don't think I really knew them.
No, I'm a few. I believe I think I'm 5 years older, something like that. I'm a little bit, but that's not a big difference. But in terms of childhood TV, it's like 20 years.
Yeah.
All right, and enough of that.
Well, Adam's reminding us of HR Puff and stuff. My random thought, because I think it was also regional, was the Giggle Snort Hotel. That's what most people react with that. So if anyone remembers the Giggle Snort Hotel, that also is a very specific time frame in the 70s, and it was also, I think, regional to the Chicago area. So there were puppets. I think they're the same as, or there was also a zoo thing, but there was like no GNUs is good GNUs with Gary GNU. I think that was also the Giggle Snort Hotel. So there was all kinds of weird stuff that we remember. The Magic Door, which as I grew up, I learned that the Magic Door was actually all about Judaism. But as a kid, I knew none of that. So it was all very different stuff.
Well, I remember the New Zoo Review with the Henrietta Hippo.
Yeah. Okay, Carmen remembers Gary GNU. And things start mixing into your head because it's like, wait, what was that from? So yes.
Well, there's local TV too, because like here in the Philly area, we had Larry Ferrari, who would play the little Hammond organ on Saturday morning in front of a curtain, and then there was Chief Halftown.
See, we had Ray Rayner. We had the Bozo
Sally
Show.
Star.
Bozo Show originated in Chicago, so that was a big deal for kids of my age to go to the Bozo Show and actually be in the show. My brother did that. I did not. So yeah. So some of them, I think Bozo was big enough that I think most people knew who Bozo the Clown was. Yeah. But Ray Rayner was pretty localized. But he had a Garfield Goose. That's the stuff that I grew up on. Oh, Justin said met Sally Star.
Zoom. Oh, you met Sally Star?
Oh, Zoom. I definitely remember Zoom.
My father did as well. Sally Star, and we had Chief Halftown and Sally Star, and we had Captain. Now, nationally was Captain Kangaroo, but in Philly, we had someone called Captain Noah.
Oh, okay.
And he was on an ark with Mrs. Noah, and I'm going to sing it. I have to sing it. May I indulge? May you indulge? What is it?
I will indulge you.
Everybody from the Delaware Valley, here we go. Send your pictures to dear old Captain Noah. Send today, don't you delay. Woo, I forget the rest of it. But anyway, now they're all going to be chatting about that and ignoring the rest of the sale, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're all in a history loop. So we've got Zoom, Captain Chesapeake, which I'm going to assume was a regional one because I wouldn't even know where the Chesapeake was when I was a kid. Captain Noah, somebody recognized. Oh, Mickey Mouse, of course. Zoom had their own language. Well, you also get, like you said, sometimes a couple years of a difference. Like I think it was Sesame Street started in 1969. So I grew up with Sesame Street being born in 1970, but my brother was born in 1965. So he didn't watch Sesame Street at all because by the time that became popular enough for it to be picked up, he was already like 7, 8 years old, and he never watched it, but I was 3. So I was watching it all the time. So anyone else watch JP? That one I don't recognize. I've never heard of Captain Noah though. That just seems overtly religious. That's interesting that would be on.
Well, he was on an ark.
Well, as opposed to all the other religious Noahs.
Red and yellow and blue and gray.
Oh, so he saved the colors too?
We learned our colors. Captain Noah would sing. And I remember I was little, and Captain and Mrs. Noah, who were real people, of course, they vacationed in Ocean City, New Jersey, as did my family. And I remember seeing Captain and Mrs. Noah out of costume, but in bathing suits on the beach down the Jersey shore, and just being like awestruck. It looks to me like my camera is breaking up. Are you seeing me okay? I think I've got a bad connection. So
no, you seem fine.
What I'm seeing looks blurry, but let's go. It's fun to sort of stop and reminisce, and I think that it's one of the things that unites people and brings people together, because you never know what someone is going to say that triggers a memory that you had forgotten. And I think that's why people gravitate towards whatever you call this community or whatever it is that we do. It's sort of a collective, so just going back.
No. All right, back to you.
10 cards. We're going to start at whatever it is. What was the last one? All right, 15. We'll start at $15 on 10 cards, and I will do a solo layout. And let's look at the cards. So we're going to start at $10. No, 15. $15, 10 cards, and these are super duper. That's another one with that glossy look on the front. Here's looking at you. These are from the night. Look at the Scotties with cocktails. Patrick, look at that.
I have a Christmas one that matches that.
You do?
Yes, let's see if I can reach it here. I think I have it right here.
Look at the Scotties with their cocktails. Oh my goodness. We love our 1930s Scotties. Look at this with the toilet paper on it. What does this one say? It's mighty awkward having a birthday. Look at the toilet paper. See it?
Fantastic.
I hope there's nobody on the toilet when you open it. Look at this. Look at the romantic couple in the 30s. And once again, the little Scottie dog is always there. Trying to get it.
My Scottie Christmas card looks like yours, but they are not drinking.
Well, so 30s. I'm going to show you that drinking Scottie dog again. That's got to be the best one. So 30s. Look at this.
Patty Thurman opens you up at 15.
Look at the little puppy. These are old cards, and there's just classics from the 1930s. I know you can't see them. Try to go fast because she says Mary had a little lamb, and when you open it up, it's the whole Mary had a little lamb. See it?
Yeah.
The whole thing. Look at the kittens. Who can resist kitty in a basket? You cannot resist a kitten in a basket. Fast asleep. And all the toys. And here we have action. And so if we move her head, her little rolling pin goes back and forth. Wait a minute. I should have rehearsed it, but I didn't. I think we do this. Look at that. You see that?
Sorry, I lost you. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Apparently, this must have been very exciting in the 1940s. It's very cute. You know, you get the action. I don't know what she's doing, helping mother. And here's this little child with frizzy hair. And look, there's a safety pin holding up the diaper. And that's an old-fashioned card. See the safety pin?
Yeah.
And then this one, we have action as well. A new broom sweeps clean. She's kind of evil looking. Oh my gosh, she's very evil looking with that broom. That's what nightmares are made of. Ooh. But anyway. And then a birthday card, probably from the 40s as well, 30s or 40s. Really pretty. But listen, I'm telling you what, the best one, Patrick, has to be the cocktail drinking Scotties. Oh
Those
my
are
gosh.
Fantastic. So what do the circles highlight? Their eyeballs?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Here's looking at you.
And then you open it up and we've got happy birthday. They've got their bibs on, and someone at the top wrote the names Howard and Laura. You know,
Regina puts you at 16.
So we'll count these down. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oops, whatever. 4. It's hard to do. 3, 2, 1. All right. That whole lot, you get all of them.
Okay, so I just came to stop. Going to refresh because it looks like a couple people came in at the last minute. And I am seeing Regina Rainey at, let me refresh again because I'm seeing it at two different places. I am showing Regina Rainey came in just at the last minute at 18. Yep, just before the stop.
Regina, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks everybody who placed your bids. And it's back to Patrick.
All right. I hadn't planned on making this next, but I will go ahead and make it next because I also have Scotties. And so this wasn't even part of the sale, but I'll go ahead and include this in what I am selling because I've got 2 Scottie pieces. So if we've got Scottie lovers out there. This was the card I was thinking of. I do have something with Scotties drinking, but I don't know what it is. So this one is just Merry Christmas. And when it opens up, and many more to follow. So you've got a whole line of Scotties with the spice. And I did try and figure out what that it was an advertisement for. I really don't know. It's got the deckled edge, just kind of a cool little, odd shaped Christmas card. So that will be included. This will be a $5 start. If you could put that in for me, Scott.
I'll do that right now.
This is what the item was going to be all by itself. So you get both of them. You get the Merry Christmas Scottie card, and you get the Scottie Baby Ruth Kleenex lipstick tissues. So had to do a little bit of digging on this one. Curtis Candy Company is based here in Chicago, where I'm at. Baby Ruth came out in the 20s. And I do see a couple people coming in at 5. So you get, this is the Baby Ruth Candy Company, named after Babe Ruth. The Curtis Candy Company started in 1916. Baby Ruth came in the 20s. So this is probably based on her skirt and those shoes. I would say this is probably 30s or 40s. Would you say, Scott? And Scotties were really big around FDR. Everyone did their Scotties because of Fala.
Yeah.
So this is a full set. I can't tell if there's any actually missing from here, so I can't say it's 100% full, but I don't see any torn out. So I do think this is a full set. And you get a recipe. So you get just like the cookbook, how to make delicious Baby Ruth cookies. So you need butter, shortening, white sugar, egg, flour, soda, salt, vanilla, and 2 Curtis Baby Ruth 5-cent bars. And that's what I was trying to find out, is when were Baby Ruth 5 cents? And I couldn't figure that out. And on the back, you have a whole, this is all like a vintage advertising whirlwind, because then you also have the advertisement for Kleenex with a 1-cent price tag for the lipstick tissues. So they're functional. You have lipstick tissues. Yeah. Save your handkerchiefs.
Love it.
Kleenex for your handbags. But it's all about the vintage advertising. Upside down. You've got that great dog begging for a Baby Ruth cookie, candy cookie.
That's cute.
Recipe on every wrapper. And then you have the advertising for Curtis. So you're advertising Baby Ruth. You're advertising Kleenex. And if you like Scotties, you also get a Scottie Christmas card to go along with it. So I will go ahead. I see right now Regina's in at 12. And again, you get both. So $12 for the pair. We'll go ahead and count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Hey, Jenny, I'm in the far western suburbs of Chicago. So I say Chicago because no one knows where I'm at, but I'm actually in the suburbs.
All right.
So let's see. Okay, I just saw the stop come through.
And it appears
looks like Regina.
Granny at 12.
All right. Thank you so much, Regina.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's go back to the 50s. In fact, let's go back to November of 1953. You ready?
1953. Let's see it. We've got Mid-Century Modern coming at us.
We've got a big old Good Housekeeping magazine. Just this one magazine, but just look how many pages are in here. There are a whopping 312 pages.
What's the start?
Oh, $8.
Okay.
November of 1953, Good Housekeeping, $8. Don't be shy. Jump right in there. because it is 9:48, and we don't like to keep everybody up too late. So we're only going to be going for a little while longer. But the Good Housekeeping magazine, November 1958. Over 300 pages. It doesn't smell bad. It's not falling apart.
Alicia's in it at 10.
It is an old magazine. Now, there's no way I can go through this whole thing. You've got 300 pages from November of 1953. It doesn't.
15.
We've got to take a look at least one vintage kitchen. We've got to, because we love our old-timey kitchens.
Alicia's at 17.
How many of you would like to go back to a kitchen like that? Just for one day, maybe. Does that remind you of visiting your grandparents?
Absolutely. Adam's at 18.
If you're like me, I collect the magazines from the 20s, 30s, and into the early 40s. And I'll sit down and read these. You turn off the news. You know what's going on in the world, but sometimes you just want to escape all of that and read a beautiful Breck shampoo. Did somebody mention Breck shampoo earlier?
Alicia's at 20.
Looks like your old kitchen. There's going to be Jell-O in here. Oh, my word. In fact, there's Jell-O right there. Let me keep going. Look at this. Here's a romance story. Look at that. You already know how much fun this is going to be. You can sit there one night and look and see what people did with Del Monte crushed pineapple.
They did scary things back in the 50s.
They did. I'm telling you right now, I already know they put mayonnaise on it and shrimp and Jell-O. I can tell you they took this can of Del Monte crushed pineapple and put it in Jell-O and put shrimp in it and mayonnaise and minced ham. I'm already telling you that that's what they did, Patrick, and you know it.
Absolutely. Jan's at 21.
Look at that. Iron your blouse. Does anybody iron anymore? Oh, my word. And look how excited they are with their little white gloves and their new washing machine. It's a Whirlpool. And when they made them in those days, they didn't make them so that they would break down after 8 years. They made them so that they would last for eternity.
That blue linoleum floor, that's fantastic.
I'm loving that blue linoleum.
That color, wouldn't have thought that dark.
I mean, good heavens.
I think we've got a couple, I'm going to say a couple people might have a lag. So we've got 20 is the highest right now, but we had a couple, or 21 is the highest right now from Jan. And we had a couple could come in later at 5 and 8. So just be aware. I'm
just trying to find some neat things to show you. But I am going to count this down, not to just go over and over and over and over. But it's just so much fun. And that you can sit down and look through these and go back to a completely different era. This is everybody's mother, isn't it? Is it not? Well, not everybody, but.
Wow, that stove is amazing. With the storage on the sides, that's fantastic. Wow.
So
she was making a pretty small turkey for Thanksgiving, though, because that was a pretty small oven in the middle.
Doesn't smell like a dirty basement. No silverfish are falling out of it. And we'll count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 300 pages. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can read this like a novel, and you'll love it. All right, just saw it come through. Ooh. And let's scroll back up. So highest is Jan Lofness at 21. Jan, thank you. And thank you for everyone who placed a bid. I appreciate it. Jan, you're going to have so much fun reading that. Jan Loftness, I know you. I've already got your information, and it's time to go back to Patrick. It's yours.
All right. It was just there was somebody
Thanks,
Adam
Jan.
came in, but just after the stop. So I apologize, Adam. You did miss out on that. So, okay. The next item, this for as I said, I do a lot with ephemera, so I'm thrilled to be able to be on the sale with Scott, specializing in ephemera. What I'm doing next is kind of what I love to sell.
Okay.
I'm selling an entire stack. This is 10 letters, all with their original envelopes, with their original postage, all from 1881.
Good
So
heavens.
we're in 19th century territory here. There's 10 of them. You get all 10. So the starting bid is $20. So $2 a letter. So it seems high, but it's 10 letters. So you get all 10, $2. So the starting bid is at 20. And I'll just go ahead and read one of them. So this is coming from, let's see, it was mailed to Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania in Blair County, and it was mailed from Tyrone, Pennsylvania. So these are 10 letters, all from 1881. Now, gotta try and read the penmanship. You can see, so the letter itself, and this is the standard form. The paper would have been folded. So the first letter is on that side. You open it up. They use both pages of the inside. And then if they were long enough, they'd use the back. So starting it out, my dear darling, I can hardly wait until I get your letter tomorrow. What? I want to hear from you so bad. Just something I have not had a letter since Tuesday. I think it will not write to you on Sunday if I have to wait so long again. Well, John Little, and this is also great for like genealogy and people that live in Pennsylvania. There's like names get dropped into all of these. Well, it has been very cold here. I have had to wear my coat all week. That seems funny in something to think we have to wear our winter clothes. Well, we are going to have our friend the 20th of July. So this letter was dated in June. While to wait through, don't know where they will have to have it yet. No, they'll be busy as we will not be where they will. Wait. They didn't cross the page. They went down. It's okay. We will not be open on Monday. Well, I have been busy as usual this week. So it's life from, I'm not sure what that says. If that says mother.
Wow.
If that says like Mathilde or Maddie or something like that. I don't actually know what that penmanship says. And the return address doesn't have a name on it. So all of these, this is pretty much indicative of what they are. So it's folded up, fits into the envelope. The envelopes have been slitted on the
Nice.
side. So they're in really nice condition. I personally have a large pyrographic. It's larger than a glove box. It's actually about the size of 3 glove boxes. I don't know what it would have held that hold hundreds of these. And when people come over, they just open them up. They just start reading them. Like they're just fantastic. Again, a great ephemera bowl. There's a great history because who's going to have letters sitting around from the 19th century? So you've got the stamps on here. You know, December. You know, the postmarks are a little bit different. You got the addresses. These came to me. I've not read all of them, so you don't know like what who knows what all the letters could be. They were tied up in a little blue ribbon. I'll see if I can try to wrap that up again, but I'm not going to count on that. But the blue ribbon's contemporary. Somebody did that after the fact.
Yeah.
And you know, you could tie these back up in a blue ribbon and just have these set, and people just think they're super cool. I believe they are all from the same person. They were all to the same person. They were sent to looks like Mr. Lee Plummer. They all have the same penmanship on the outside, so I do believe they are all from the same person. But again, I did not open them, so I can't guarantee that. They are all from 1881. I did check that. and they are all dated, throughout the year. So like the one I was reading is from June. You got another one from June, one from October, one from December, November, December, June, October, November, and I can't quite read that one.
Patrick, would you address? I hate.
I think Kylo didn't want to pay shipping, and so no. If you don't want to pay for the shipping on the dollhouse, you do not have to buy the dollhouse. We're not. And no one bid against you, so you didn't do any harm stopping anyone else from getting it. So no, if you don't want it, don't worry about it, Kylo.
Okay, and then at the end, Patrick, bring the dollhouse back. Okay.
Sure.
So keep going now with the letters. That's great. And the
Sorry. Do I have any bids on the letters? I was going through the letters. I haven't looked.
I haven't seen any. Listen, everybody, if you would like to place a bid on those letters, put that in there. I'm scrolling back, and I didn't see any.
So these are start at $20. I don't see any bids either. So I'll do a really quick countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
0. If you want them later, let me know.
Okay.
Back to you.
No, I tell you what, it is 9:59.
All right.
And you are the guest on my channel. I would like you to keep going, Patrick. And what else would you like to offer tonight?
Well, let me grab something. We had recipes earlier.
Okay.
So let me grab. I had a fun thing of recipes that I thought would do well.
Very good. Well, you go for it now. Keep going.
This was from. I've got 2 pieces here. So the first one I thought would be fun, and now for show the other piece. This was actually picked up from an estate sale, and it was in a box lot of a bunch of other books that I bought. Some of them were recipe books or cookbooks. What this were recipes that somebody had pulled out of their own cookbooks or out of their own notes and was sending them to Libby. Use any of these for your collage wall.
Wow.
So the idea behind these, unfortunately, most of them are going to be difficult to date. Some of them are probably a little bit more contemporary. You've got this from a spiral notebook, but we've got 12 shells. We've got a typed one for horseradish Bloody Mary. We've got what it looks like probably a 70s recipe card just based on those picks for marinated flank steak. Another handwritten one that came out of a book.
Ooh, steak.
Some yellow legal paper, some magazines, just all mixed up. That these would just be a craft project. Like this would be if somebody wants to, either recreate them. Some of them are Xeroxes from something. So I thought that was just kind of cool. This is a $5 start for all of this. So that is part of it. But then I also have, this is actually my favorite piece. This is a 19th century exercise book. And it's in the aesthetic movement. So most likely from the 1870s to the 1880s, which is when the aesthetic movement was popular.
Yeah.
And what this are handwritten recipes from the 19th century.
Get out of town.
So we've got this exercise book. First page is their salads. Then we've got a page of cakes. There's a cabbage salad, sunshine cake, spice cake. Now it says spice cake. Very nice. So
wow.
The spice cake. So you've got the recipe in there. Thank you, Debbie, for the $6 bid. You've got a recipe for pudding. So all of this, again, this is a 19th century exercise book. This would have been like a kid's, like those marble covered or granite covered blue binders. This is what they looked like back in the 19th century. And that artwork is very distinctive. I would frame it like this, but I include it with the other recipes because it has all of these recipes. And it is not quite filled. It's about half filled with recipes, but then you've got a little ledger showing black paint and stain cost 20 cents. So you've got kind of a day in the life, April 18th, Bryden Plumbing for $5. So this is the centerfold. And up to the centerfold, we've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 recipe pages in the beginning, and then after the centerfold, more pages come into the back. So we've got cream candy from Miss Burt, butterscotch. So that's 8, 9, 10. Mixed chow chow, mustard pickles. So the whole booklet's probably only about 20 pages, and maybe about 12 of them have something written in them. And yes, they were for writing exercises. That's not what it got used for. It was used for recipes. But yeah, so just kind of going through it again really quick, so you can kind of see what's got covering on it. This is page by page because it's a thin exercise book. So all of these have recipes. More recipes. I think there's like 2 blank pages, and then the ledger. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it, but I gave you the recipes that were on there, and then more recipes written into the back. And then you also get this manila folder with other recipes, and there's probably 20 or 25 recipes in there of not nearly as old as the exercise book. So to me, the money's in this. But this is fun, particularly if somebody likes to do cooking. So I will go ahead and count these down. Again, you get both. You get the whole stack of recipes. Just count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I guess that's the back of the book. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop.
There it is.
All right. So it looks like Zoe Small. Is that who you see? Zoe Small?
Indeed.
Okay. Zoe Small gets the whole set at $15. Thank you so much, Zoe.
Ooh, I just took Patrick away from the stream, and I did not mean to do that. Patrick, get back in there. I deleted you by accident. Ooh. Not awful. We got through the whole thing with no problems. And then I went, all right, let's wait until Patrick. Oh, you are still there. Well, how do I get you? Wait a minute. Let me go find. There you are. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. And I was just going to say, for a lot of people that bought from me tonight, this was the first time. So my email address is right here on screen. So if you could just email me your shipping information, I will get you invoices hopefully by Friday night with the items. A lot of these will just go by stamped mail. So, postage will not be particularly high, but I will figure all of that out and figure out where I'm shipping. And yes, thank you, Zoe, for picking that up. Congratulations. You okay there, Scott?
Yes. Okay. So it is a 10:06, and we said we were going to run for about 2 hours, which we did, and this was a lot of fun. Patrick, it's always good to do this. I don't sell very much ephemera when I do my auctions, and so it's kind of fun to have this opportunity to join you and sell some of the ephemera.
Well, an ephemera it's a mixed bag, because there's some stuff that I think your people would have really enjoyed, but it's so difficult to showcase with a camera and hold it flat and everything, because I've got an entire series of New York Times pictorial inserts from 1917, but they're so brittle, I can't really hold them up because they would literally fall apart. So that kind of stuff I end up doing on my eBay channel or my eBay store. And then here, it's hard to show it didn't end up selling, but like the dollhouse, it's hard to show that in pictures, what that is. It's just like, wait, it does this and it unfolds. Like, it's hard to show that in a picture.
Since you said dollhouse, I was looking back. There seems to be a little bit of confusion. I want to see if the original winner of that dollhouse still wants it, because he or she made a comment about it would be a good gift for her niece or nephew or something. I don't know. So
Okay,
let's
so
just
Kylo Bear was the person that claimed it.
Okay, so if you are still here, jump in the comments and just let us know. Let it snow.
So
do you want?
Zoe is asking, and I don't know if that's on behalf of Kylo or if she's just asking for herself, how much do I think it would cost to ship? I think it would still go first class mail. I mean, you're probably talking $6 or $7. I don't think it would go over a pound. I mean, I honestly didn't weigh it, but I don't think it will. I've got a flat photo envelope that is larger than this, so I would use that. I would say, and I don't really legally, I can't do this as media mail, but I do think it would only be like a pound, or under a pound. So it's probably $6, $7, depending on where I'm shipping it to. I'm coming out of Chicago, which helps because I'm in the middle of the country, so I don't have the huge distances. So did Kylo come back?
Still looking to see, and while we're waiting just to see, so the sale's over. Thank you, everyone. And folks are saying good night. Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that all your dreams come true. And until we meet again, adios, au revoir. I'll feature saying, I can't help but to go through the whole thing. But for those of you who want to hang around, Jeremy said something.
No, that's interesting. It's as a way to help date things as well. I've got like a little cheat sheet for postcards that when the postage changed, because it went up and down back in the 20s and 30s and into the 50s. So sometimes if you can't see a postage, if you can't read the postmark, you can tell by the stamp. So that I didn't know about the philatelic catalog. So that's good to know.
Now, Zoe Small says, I would like it. What is it that you would like?
She was the one that was asking about the shipping of the dollhouse. So okay. I've gone into my email really quick, and I don't see Kylo having sent me an email. So what I will do, Zoe, I will put you down as a second for the dollhouse. And if I don't hear from Kylo by the time I go to invoice, I will add it to your invoice because you bought the recipes. So I can ship them all together. So if Kylo may have legitimately left, which is fine. I thought Kylo had asked, do I have to buy the dollhouse? So my assumption was he or she did not want it. But then, yeah, there's the other comment that would be a great gift. Maybe he wasn't.
Right. Just a little confusion. So
yeah, okay. I had not seen that part.
Right. There was a comment that came in from the winner of the dollhouse that said it would be a good gift. And I was somewhat confused whether that particular party still wanted it or not. But you've got someone in second place.
Yeah. And I don't know Kylo. So really at this point, it's in that person's hands. If he or she doesn't email me, I have no way to send it to them.
Right.
So if I don't get it by the time I do the invoices, though, I will make sure that it's added to yours.
Yeah. It's difficult when you're trying to navigate through these live sales. It can be tricky when you're not always certain what someone is saying or what. A lot of times, and we're all guilty of this. I'm not pointing fingers. If I point fingers, I'm going to point them at myself. We type things which make sense to us, but we don't necessarily always think it through and understand how it's coming across. So sometimes there's confusion, and it's important for us all to just slow down, relax, and try to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. We're all here for fun. If it doesn't work for Kylo, it doesn't work. And sometimes that comment about the gift may have been referring to something else, because that's the other problems with the lag. Somebody will come up and say, well, what is it? Well, okay, wait a minute. I don't know what you're asking.
Yes.
I'm 10 seconds into the future, and I just showed you 7 things. Like when we were going through the cards, it's hard to know. So that's always just some people don't think about it. They think it's a communication. There's even a lag, just between Scott and I. So it's a nuanced thing. But hey, we're not selling the Mona Lisa. Like, we're just here to have fun, and as long as everyone just kind of stays chill, it'll all work out. And hopefully some people got some stuff they wanted, and you had tons of people that didn't buy anything, and that's great too. I call them huckster hecklers in my chat because I love to have people hanging out with each other, and it's just a good fun night.
good grief. And I do the same thing. I can just tune in, and it's fun to just, sometimes you just want to sit back and spend a couple of hours and not, you don't want to know what the weather is. You don't want to know what the news is. You don't want to know what the politics is. You don't want to know, you just want to go someplace else mentally. And I do it a lot, either through reading or listening to music or watching, other folks who are into the old timey things like we are. And it's what makes a community. So listen, folks are leaving, and I thank you. We had about 300 folks in here at one point tonight.
Fantastic. And I did just have a question from that I just answered. Somebody did ask if I had a channel. Normally, I would actually say Trusty Huckster Mercantile, but that is my channel, Trusty Huckster Mercantile on YouTube. My email address is thmvintage. It used to be Trusty. I still have trustyhuckstermercantile@gmail.com, but I discovered that no one could spell it. So I simplified it to thmvintage@gmail.com. But if you want to find I do have a YouTube channel. I do ephemera sales about once a month, either pre-recorded or live. And then I also do have an eBay store, which you can find when you go into my About section of my YouTube channel. You'll find a link to my eBay store.
Wonderful.
I noticed, folks, I did see a bid come in, but I don't know what it's for. So Patsy's saying folks are bidding, but I think there's just somebody's got a lag, unfortunately.
Well, let's see. Let's hold on for a second. Unless it's bedtime. We'll see. If someone is bidding, that's a pretty bad lag.
Yeah, that would be a very bad lag. And because of the lag, that person's not going to know that they're lagging for quite a while. So they're not going to know what's happening.
So we'll hold on for a second. Yeah, the sale is over. Good night, everyone. Excuse me. Good night, everyone who is on their way to bed.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. And again, a quick last minute thanks to Scott again for hosting. So very happy to be on the channel.
I'm going to talk for a few more minutes. Patrick, you can hang in there, or if it's bedtime.
I'll hang out. I got no place to go.
Well, I'm not going to a nightclub. I'm sitting right here. I am Patrick.
And Jeremy just asked a question. If you could ask me a question, if you want to put it in the chat, that's fine. But you can also send me an email, and I'm happy to communicate with you via email if you're asking about my Crocs.
Go for it.
So we don't have to answer it here because not everyone's going to be interested in that. But I do. That is probably my favorite collection, and I've got the collections off to the side as well. So
you do, yeah.
So the question about it's actually interesting because somebody else had asked. They were thinking and they're familiar with Red Wing pottery. And the difference is, and you can kind of see it. So there's the one here. I can do this behind the candlestick. Kind of has a more of a brownish glaze compared to this one, which has more of a bluish glaze. So I always do the ones with the cobalt. Red Wing is manufactured in Minnesota, so more of a Midwest. Most of mine are actually from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and New York. And so the clay is a little bit different, and then they do more of a blue glaze. And that's what I like, is that grayish blue glaze. What goes into the glaze is sometimes it's a reaction with the clay. And that's, when it's manufactured, just like glass manufacturers tend to be along rivers and things like that, you just have different soil makeups. And so you find that a lot of the places will build up around certain areas. So like Western Pennsylvania, unless it's stamped, is about as good as you can get for identifying it. And sometimes you're only identifying it based on how the design is done. But the actual chemical structure, it's called salt glaze. And so what gives the glaze itself that sheen is they are literally throwing salt into the heated oven. That ends up giving that sheen, and it actually is firing a solid covering onto the glaze that makes it waterproof. So these were used for storage, and the older they are, the less decoration they have, because they were basically just designed to store food or store grain, or they weren't for pretties, But then over time they realized people got really famous, and started decorating them with specific designs. Like this one's one of my favorites. It's kind of got an angel design on it. That's pretty rare. That's not something people did. But that also is a little bit later because people were doing that to resell them. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to like go down that path, but I do love that collection.
Well, and if you're curious and you check out Patrick's channel, Patrick has a series of what's called deep dives when he talks to folks, and you spend more time studying rather than, and Patrick, you and I have this joke about, look at this piece of glass, it's pink, it's pretty. That's kind of our joke.
There's nothing wrong with some people wanting something because it's pink and pretty.
I am with that. But for those who geek out, I say we will geek out or nerd out. You want to go deeper than that, you know? So like it's fascinating to me when we hear about Depression glass. A lot of folks will just say, oh, it was called Depression glass because it became popular during the Depression. But when you do a deep dive, you find out that Depression glass predates October of 1929. It has nothing to do with the crash of the stock market. Depression is the overall era in which it was popular, but it begins to become fashionable in the mid to late 1920s when women who are in charge of the household are going away from the old crystal EAPG, American pressed glass. Colored glass becomes in vogue. And the good glass companies, Cambridge, Fostoria, Tiffin, all those companies, they got there first in 1926, 27, 28. And you'll read articles in Good Housekeeping, in vogue, colored glass. And it's interesting to see that throughout the months, there's pink. And then later on, green is introduced. And the colors begin. And then Heisey begins to create colors. And it just explodes. So by the time you get into the 1930s, colored glass, pink, amber, green, all those colors, it's in vogue. But it's called Depression glass, but it's inaccurate to say that it became popular in the Depression. It starts in the Roaring 20s. And so for those of us who like to geek out, what I'm saying is check out Patrick's deep dive videos where you'll hear people geek out on topics that are fascinating to some of us.
And that's it to some of us. I mean, it's one of those cases. I did a lot of those. Some of them were on my own, some were with a partner. I would usually bring someone in to talk about something they were really knowledgeable in. And Scott came in. I think you talked about uranium glass. Different people came in to say, to get into that niche category that not everyone's going to care about it, but you suddenly like, oh, I didn't know that. And it's like, well, why did it take on that term? Or, and then in some cases it can be educational, and then suddenly it turns frustrating because then you'll hear the facts saying, oh, this is when this was made, or this was when this was popular, this is why this happened. And then you'll watch a popular channel, or you'll see something, an article, or you'll see a photograph, and they'll have misinformation that's popular information, but not necessarily correct information. Yeah. And you'll say, wait, I actually know. And like things like the book that Scott had from 1923, okay, here's a very first era document of this is exactly what things looked like. A lot of things became associated with the Depression because people had to, one, glass manufacturers still wanted to sell their stuff and people needed to sell products. So like when I learned that they used to put cake platters in bags of flour, I'm sorry, they did what? And that would be suddenly you'd have a reason to buy that brand of flour because you could build, just like getting your little S&H green stamps or your A&P, like you start buying from the same company. All those little things like the flour sacks themselves, that became, you bought those flour sacks because they would put printed designs on them so you could make clothing out of them. You had to buy your flour and something. So sackcloth was a real thing that then ended up getting recreated, for decades after that, but it came as a real thing.
Oh, absolutely.
The designs came from before the Depression, but then it became associated with the Depression because you could get a free mug for going to the movie theater, saying, hey, come to the movies, spend money, and we'll give you something. And, so a lot of, just like carnival glass, everyone like, oh yeah, carnival glass, that was given because that was prizes in a carnival. Well, that's not what it was made for, but it was expensive enough that yes, it could be used as a prize in the carnival, but that's not what it was marketed as.
Patrick, I am so glad you said that, because names that are associated, absolutely. The majority of carnival glass was purchased. And at that time, it was iridescent glass. And folks purchased it because it was beautiful glass and it was inexpensive. And it mimicked Tiffany and Steuben and the expensive glass. It's not till years and years later that it's called carnival glass. And most of it was actually purchased by folks and not necessarily given away at carnivals. And that's not me guessing. That's the work of folks who have studied it and researched it and written about it.
Finding those, like the catalog, you would call the clothing. There's catalogs for glass manufacturers.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden you see, well, this is what it costs. This is where you could find it. If you ever anyone ever has a chance to go to some of the specialty museums, like Cambridge is a fantastic glass museum. I have a video on my channel of a tour of that. And it's just, how did they develop in their company? The company ceased to exist in the 50s. Well, twice. They stopped, then reopened again, and then stopped again in the 50s. But they were around in the 20s and the 30s. And when they first manufactured their dinnerware, they tried to put their logo molded into the glass. And all of the fine dinner parties, the matrons said, oh, I'm not going to buy your glass because I don't want to see your stupid advertisement in the middle of my glassware. Yeah. So they stopped doing molded glass and then had to start putting paper labels on it. And people think, oh, well, if it doesn't say Cambridge, it's not old. Well, I guess if it does say Cambridge, it would be really old. But they're like, if it doesn't have to say Cambridge, it's not Cambridge. No. You got to know the patterns. You got to know the etchings. You got to know. And that is an art in and of itself. And so it's just fascinating to see how these businesses had to survive the Depression. A lot of them didn't, but what they had to do. And in some cases, it was getting creative with how to sell their stuff.
Look at that comment on the screen.
So yeah, Recovering Soul had asked what it looked like. At this point, I don't feel comfortable reopening the auction, because if Kylo sends me their information, Kylo gets it. And if Kylo doesn't, I've already agreed to sell it to Zoe at the same price. So yes, I do apologize, Recovering Soul, that you did miss out on that. It is a cool piece. And it is actually going much lower than I would have thought. But at this point, I'm happy with $10, and that's the way this needs to work. So,
well, we are going to wrap it up and we still have 200 folks here. And once again, we will always say, if it weren't for the 200 of you watching, it would be me and Patrick staring at each other, which would be entertaining for me, probably not so much for Patrick. So
I could do that all
day. Thank you for joining us tonight. You're always welcome to come anytime, and we like hearing from you, and we're happy for all of those who participated and for those who just not just, I take that back, because it sounds as if I don't value the ones who watch as much as I value the ones who purchase, and that's not true.
No.
It's a community.
Yep.
And I know a lot of you enjoy watching as much as I enjoy watching other channels, and so thank you.
Absolutely. And I appreciate, so many people joined in that I didn't recognize their names. If you didn't find me annoying, check out my channel. You might like some of what I'm doing. I've stepped back a little bit because I also do community theater on the side. Plus I have a full-time job. So I'm not doing as many videos, but I'm trying to get better at that. I just filmed a bunch of clips of the House Museum in Chicago. And that's currently sitting in my editor to post a video for that. So I've got a mixed thing. I don't want it to just be about sales. I've got an eBay channel. I've got an eBay store.
And Patrick, let me shamefully promote. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? I didn't say a word, well, which is rare for me. Patrick did an awesome job, but he and I toured the Nemours mansion, which is a wonderful DuPont mansion, not too far from where I live in Delaware. I live in New Jersey, but you know what I'm saying. That's down somewhere in Patrick's video archive. We spent some time together, and we were able to go and tour. And when you think of the DuPonts, you think of Winterthur or these great. That house was a mansion that felt cozy to me, felt warm and inviting. It wasn't It wasn't, so huge that you were overwhelmed. If you've never heard of everybody has heard of DuPont family, I guess, but go back in Patrick's channel and dig for that, and you'll see a wonderful tour of the Nemours mansion there in Delaware. It was a lot of fun to do that.
That was one of my favorite videos. It's unfortunately a lot of places don't allow you to film video. So I'd love to do more of those, but sometimes they're hard to do. But that one allowed us to do it. The only time we got our hands slapped is we tried to do a video on the giant staircase, and they said that was it was considered dangerous to film on the staircase. Whatever.
Well, you need to come back, Patrick, because the lower level, if you remember, was closed.
Yep.
And that has similar to the Biltmore in North Carolina, the lower level has the billiards room and the swimming pool and the smoking room, and there's so much more to see, which we couldn't see. So maybe we'll do that again sometime. Absolutely. Okay.
Well, thanks everyone for joining. And I've got my email there. Trusty Huckster Mercantile is my channel. And my name is Patrick. So again, thanks everyone for hanging out with us tonight.
Very good. Patrick, do your thing. I want to tell everybody, thank you. Stay with me, because I told you last night, and I don't remember if Patrick saw this or not. He might have. I have an appointment in Atlantic City. I'm taking a wonderful item to try to have it authenticated. And if it is what I think it is a tremendous find, which may be worthy of national display.
Fun.
Now, I know you're all going, what? I have something. I'm teasing you. I have something that I purchased many, many, many years ago at a flea market. It's not necessarily worth a whole lot of money, but the cultural value of this item, if it is what I think it is, it could wind up in a museum on the National Mall in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Patrick, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do.
Well, I'm not telling anybody. I'm not telling anyone, because this is a shameful hook to get people to keep watching. But I'm going to go, not tomorrow, but the next day, I think, and try to get this item authenticated. And I am so excited, I cannot but tell you.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, good
Enough
luck.
Time to go to bed.
Enjoy the Jersey Shore.
I will. Thank you, Patrick. Have a good night. And thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So long for now. All right, let me see. Oh, let me get my progressive lenses together here. And I'm getting my eyes done on Saturday, so